this is the sloth. So it's our team.
Very cool.
Yeah. So it's pretty wild. Man, those guys know how to party.
Yeah. Something I got to do one of these days.
Yes.
Travel. Period.
If you really want to party, go to the Netherlands, go to Amsterdam.
Oh my god, I can only imagine. Actually, I can't imagine. I'll be honest. I just can't imagine.
Yeah, I lived in Belgium for 4 years, and pretty much once a month I would go up there and go party. It was pretty fucking great.
No doubt. Big tourist attraction, the whole of the place, I imagine, eh?
Not as bad as you would think, actually.
I mean, I live in a tourist trap.
Crazy things you want to.
Yeah, no doubt.
When we're all done and everyone's got a couple of drinks, I'm going to tell you about my experience of going there when I was living in Germany.
Alright, get this all put away. One of these days I gotta sit down and get back into crafting. The wife was actually saying it'd be funny if you guys painted up your own minis and shipped them over to me for use in the game.
Be pretty sweet.
And then I said, what if they die? You gotta paint a new one all over.
Yeah, everybody partying knows how to revive people. So.
That is true, and that's something that a lot of people forget too. Is resurrection is a thing. It's $1,000 plus service fee. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's $1,000 for materials, never mind labor, and that's it. Boing! They're all up and good to go. Boing! There we are. That's my voice. I feel like I should do something with this. Oh, I can't do anything with that there. I would have to adjust the window manually. I'd have to manually move it over. That's so funny. Fuck it. This is what the camera is now. Because I can't do anything to the source itself. That's awesome. All right, well, whatever. We'll work with it. We'll do it live, so to speak. I can close that without... Good. And I fucked this up somehow, some way. Oh, so Ricky dropped out. Okay, never mind. Cool. So something to keep abreast of. The fuck was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I was gonna do I have one thing to open. One more thing. And then we can get started. Right on. I think it's safe to say that's that. Let's get that music adjusted slightly to something a bit different. Like that. Probably not, actually. But I'll bet you the track we want is in here. Let's try that one. How do you sound? Do you sound like shit? Perfect. Man, these things are just fucking... I don't know who rolls these things. They just keep going out. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen, to another exciting episode of Hunters. A D&D campaign set in my... Where the fuck is Rick? You just gone altogether? Alright, whatever. Is he... Oh, there you are. Let's do this now so you give me a gallery view. There, that's better. Fabulous. So as I was saying, welcome back everyone to another exciting episode of Hunters here in my garage. On last week's episode, our heroes did what?
I'll do it again.
I've got 3 pages of notes. They're just not going to make a whole lot of sense when I read them to you.
Sexy goblins.
Okay, so last time we left our heroes, Thomas had his final meeting with the marshal. As he made his exit, he met up with his party members where the body that they had hidden was discovered. So they made their way to meet up with Bart and Brixton to finish up what's the word? Their job with them.
Their delivery.
They met them at the quarry, where with the help of Aldous the medic, and Bart told them that they had a couple hours before leaving, so he gave them some coin to head up to the Black Talon. The party went up to the Black Talon, in which they noticed a square-headed figure wearing fanciful clothes drinking. So Tomas, Aldous, and Doc went over to talk to this gentleman using the money that Bart gave him to buy a round for the house. While Victor went to a table and started to gamble with some merchants, and Resden went up to the gallery area of the bar to just keep a lookout while flirting with the barmaid. Doc, Aldous, and Tomas talked to the Johnston figure and figured out that his name was Hawksong, a person that Valentin mentioned during the meeting last night. They noticed that Hawksong was writing in a ledger that contained names of people, their abilities, names of products, and odd locations. Hawksong wrote down their names and their abilities, and he gave them information about the goings on in town, but it was vague enough to not give them enough. In which he asked them if they were looking for work. He had a job that needed to be taken care of, in which he needed the leader of the goblins that have been wreaking havoc in the town to be taken out, and their leader, Saberfang, I believe, Saberfang, to be beheaded, and 100 gold would be given to them with the additional of 2 silver per pair of goblin ears they brought back. Aldous, Doc, and Thomas noted and said that they would have to talk to the rest of the party members in order to make a deal with them. So everybody reconvened and they talked it out, trying to figure out their next move. As they exit the bar, they notice a bar wench go up to the Black Talon's back door and do the knock that the assassin told them about to get into the Red Sash's hideout. Curious and having more time to do things, they decided to say, "What the hell," and bit the bullet, and Resden knocked on the door and they entered the Red Sash's hideout. There they met the Red Sash's head boss, Valentir, as well as 3 other of his goons, and they figured out that it was basically a suicide mission orchestrated by Laramis to get rid of them because they kind of knew too much about his plans, and Valentir informed them that Laramis had hired the Red Sash to steal the 10,000 platinum from the caravan, and that he was supposed to divvy out the boon, but Laramis backstabbed them and started to round up the Red Sash's other associates into the jail and caused them to kind of go into hiding, to go into lay low, and the 10,000 platinum was gone missing or wherever they hid it. So in exchange for not killing the party right there, Valentir made the request to get Laramis's head for I think it was 100 platinum.
100 gold, I think.
Something like that.
100 gold, yeah, 10 platinum.
10 platinum or 100 gold, and the party agreed and to this request. And as they left, Volunteer decided to send Scarp with him as a way to keep an eye on the party. And the
He
party
gave you
headed
guys a
out of
choice,
town.
actually, if you recall.
Well, no choice, but Scarp is with them now. And that's kind
And
of
we
where
also
we are.
found out that
Scarp isn't with you guys. Theros is.
Yes, and then we figured out like the goblins were a part of this ruse, and now the goblins are pissed.
Also true.
Bravo.
Yeah. I think that's it.
no, Silverfang was also part of the plot as well.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Saberfang, yeah. Okay, so there's that. Oh, almost. How fast are you guys riding?
Did anything happen after I left?
No,
You guys-
Not really, we just pretty much headed out. That was
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You left like 5 minutes before the saga ended there.
Awesome.
So it's only like 12 o'clock right now ish, right?
Yeah, it's about noonish as you guys are leaving.
So it takes us to what, like 4 hours to if we ride like a normal pace?
Yeah. If you guys are going at a full gallop, it's a quarter of that.
Do you guys want to rush in headstrong, or do you want to try to assassinate him overnight?
Well, you'll run night would be the best option.
I mean, he doesn't know yet that we know, right?
No, he doesn't.
Although he probably assumes that we won't be coming back, so.
Yes, but yeah, he doesn't know that we know. So, but we also have this lug. I left a scarf beside us with us.
Again, it's not Scarp, it's Theros
Oh.
that's with you guys. You
Theros?
you
Sorry.
literally had a choice of who to take, and you guys chose
Oh.
to take Theros,
There. Okay.
the half orc.
So, I mean, if we're approaching him, if we're going to bring him back and have Theros act like he's our prisoner and we want to know what the hell happened, and try and pull a ruse, or just go kill him. I vote for that. I'm okay with it.
Fine with that too.
Yes. I looked at Theros. I said, "Are you alright being bait for us? Are you right to play the role as a prisoner?"
As long as it means Theramiss's head ends up under my fists, I'm all right with whatever plan.
Well, I'm just saying that you might be taken to the jail, and you might be handled there.
Nothing I can't take. Besides, they don't have anything big there to hit me with.
Okay, so we stop outside of town to.
You guys are en route.
Yeah.
You guys finished off last session leaving and are starting this session riding towards. The pathway being clearly, the road being clear of traffic today as you're galloping along. The forest all around you is peaceable. As I pull out your minis from Yon.
Is there anybody following us at all?
Well, that's what I was asking. How fast are you guys riding?
I actually had a question. Did we know the path that the warden took for his patrols?
I mean, this road is really what they patrol.
Okay.
So should we go through the fort? Is there another? Let me check if we have the maps there.
Because we could set up an ambush waiting for his patrol. That way we're not in the middle of the city. Or out of
Yeah.
town.
Well, he patrols in the morning though. He doesn't patrol. There's nobody that patrols at night.
Does he patrol or does he send a patrol?
No, he patrols. Remember, because he came back the first time he was on patrol, and that's why. And then he came back because we were waiting for him. That's on his birthday. So he would be patrolling right about now-ish.
Are we planning to run into the goblins and him at the same time?
That's an excellent question.
And we're at this point, he believes we're friendly to him too, right? Or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you recall, again, he sent you guys to your deaths. So you guys returning with a prisoner can be skewed. You know, you guys could spin that.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying is if you come back and assume that if he can, you know, obviously if he was sending us to our death, either he assumed that they were going to kill us or we were going to kill him. Either way, it was going to work out well for him.
Yeah. And we were either proving ourselves or we just weren't worth his time.
Yeah. So
What if we fake being injured?
Everybody?
A couple of us, you know, like, I don't know. I'm just asking. What do you think about that?
Like the other option is to have two people or whatever, one or two ride along, at a pace off along the woods. You're gonna have to slow down your pace, but people coming back and you guys having one prisoner having lost one or two of your party might not seem unreasonable.
yeah, but then do you think we can assassinate him in the middle of his
I mean,
office?
I don't have any problem staying far back. Yeah, I don't know where we're meeting him at. If we meet him on the
No,
other,
because the only
being
way
hidden, that helps me.
the only thing we can do is like we can either try to bring him out of the city into somewhere near the Ranger's Way, and then do it that way. But we're kind of surrounded. If we do it in town, we got to do it stealthily, do it there, and then get out as fast as possible. We also want, if we do assassinate him in his office, we have to search it in order to figure out where the frick the money is.
I think the best method might be to ambush him here and then have some stealthy fellows go into his office once the deed is done.
Yeah.
Well, is he going to be patrolling the entire road, or is he going to be stopping short of where the goblins are, given that he betrayed them in this whole deal?
He only went like halfway, right? Yeah.
That's an excellent question, actually. I want to say that they're interleaved. So that is to say, one day this town does the whole route, the other day the other town does the whole route. But if I already defined it as the halfway mark, I'm good with that. That's fine.
I don't really remember what you said. I just know he does go on patrol.
He does. He does.
So we could just
yeah.
we could camp in the forest, and like there's forest all around. We can camp in the forest and then try to see him like on the route.
Ambush him? Yeah.
No, just to watch it and to just figure out what's his pattern or something like that, or because I don't
We
think
can also take him prisoner once we kill the rest of the men.
The longer we sit, the better chances of him finding out. So whatever we do, we gotta make it.
How many like other people are like us? Like how many guards are in like the Weymouth? Do we know? Like, do we remember how many guards?
Weymouth is not lacking for guards. It has a replete defense. They're not. We're probably talking about a force of maybe 20 guards all in told, with a rotation of. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna drop that down to like 12 guards on rotations of 6 per shift.
And they're all those guards are purple dragons, correct?
Yeah. So yeah, they are.
Okay. So, well.
You know what? I would even say no. As a matter of fact, we'll say that like 25% of them. So of a force of 12, we'll say that like 4 of them are full purple dragons in the employ of Laramus and everything. The rest of them are village militia who make money just acting as defense.
Okay. So we kind of don't have to worry. So okay, that's what I was wondering. So, like,
Yeah.
do we have to kill? We have to kill every freaking guard or we only have to kill? So this Laramus only has, if I remember correctly, Laramus only has like 4 people under him that I can recall, and then
We have some paralytic poison too. Like we could always poison some wine and stuff. Or
oh. Do we know if Laramus is a wine drinker? Like, does he like?
Oh, that's
Ale
an
or
excellent
something?
question that you wouldn't have the answer to, as a matter of fact. You know that Thurek is an ale man from your time playing as bard to his coterie, but no, you don't know what Laramus likes. Actually, no. Who was in Laramis's office? All of you?
Yeah,
No.
it was all of us. All of us were in that.
Aldous. Okay, so Aldous can make me a wisdom check to remember. I'll assume you guys are in open conversation about this.
Yeah. I think we're all of us, or
Yeah, no, all of us were. Each one of us
Everybody,
were.
not all
Yeah.
of us.
Oh,
Everybody.
okay. In that fact, all of you were there?
Yeah,
All right.
we all
initially.
If you say so.
'Cause I was trying to get his weapons, right?
I seem to remember this. Regardless, I would need someone to make a wisdom save to try and remember this.
a wisdom save.
A wisdom check, really, but I'll let it be a save so you can use your proficiency. You're welcome.
Man, I've got a +1, but
I have a +1 as well.
I'll do it.
Can we give him what do you have all this?
+3.
Plus save or check?
For my save.
Or no, for your wisdom. Like, what's your wisdom stat right
My
now?
wisdom regular is just +1.
Okay, we're all +1, right? Basically. Somebody can roll with
No, I'm
advantage.
+5 on saves and +3
Yeah.
just on normal wisdom.
So, guys,
Okay.
you guys can all fucking roll it. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. What does Laramus drink? Everybody kind of tries to remember.
14.
4.
Hit me. Come on, let's hear some scores.
9.
14 the highest?
I got it.
Yep.
2.
7.
Okay, who got that 14?
Go on, Doc.
Doc remembers seeing some flakens situated on the I want to say shelving unit sitting on the right. You can see them in your mind's eye. You just what the hell would he have kept in them? They looked, honestly, with a 14, they didn't look like wine, and they certainly weren't ale pitchers.
All right.
Okay. Not very helpful, but
I get nothing, guys.
They're somewhat thin-necked, bulbous at the bottom, not like a wine decanter.
Cool.
so kind of like some kind of alcohol sort, but we can just we can go up to the we can go into the bar and just ask like, hey, what does Laramus usually drink? And then we ask for a bottle of that, and then just go over there,
That's true.
spike it,
That is true.
That's a very good idea.
and then spike it, and then. So do we want to do this today, or do we want to do this like we're riding right now? It's like, are we riding into town today, or what? Are we gonna do it at the dead of night, or what's the plan, Dex?
I say we just go at it. The last time we waited, it wasn't exactly the best plan since we had our foes for that time planning for us. So who knows what he might be planning for us if we take our time.
And I think we just ride back. You get there early enough and get the lay of the land for wherever it is. I mean, if we get back early enough, we have time to deal with him in the evening. Hopefully, with less around him, rather than the middle of the day when everyone's waiting.
Yeah,
You know, you're about to go get rid of the sheriff or whatever.
Yeah, is there anybody following us right now?
Again, how fast are you riding?
I think we're running. Are we down? We're doing fast pace, guys, or are we doing?
You guys are aiming to get there in an hour, or you're good trotting and galloping a little bit for 2 hours. You have your choice of arriving there in an hour or 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think we'd probably be trying to move at a pace, considering the fact that if the story we're holding up is that we just killed a bunch of the Red Sash and we took Theris captured, we wouldn't be exactly sauntering back, would we?
Well, we're not.
Nobody's going to be chasing you if you killed everyone, really.
Yeah, it's not like we'd be racing back.
Yeah, I say 4
Oh
hours.
my god, I hate racing.
Yeah, I say 4 hours. I'd rather be there by. Well, it's only like noon right now, right, DM?
It is, yeah, like I say, just afternoon.
Yeah, I say we'll get back by 4. That's totally cool.
That's actually about the time that his patrol would be about to finish up, so it'd be good timing again. If you recall, the first time you guys met him, he was just arriving back around eventide.
I don't want to. If we gallop right now, we probably might run into him.
I mean, that's not a bad thing.
I think that would be better. You know,
I'd rather-
especially for what the end of his.
I'd rather do them on the road than.
If it's yeah, sure. If you guys want to do it, if you want.
I'm a big fan of doing it on the road.
Let's,
Wait, what are we talking about? Sorry, you guys are playing.
So,
But I don't want to be exhausted either.
No, and that is exhausting, let me tell you. Car's a tight space, man. Like, when you're... Anyway.
can we make our way there and just keep it at, like, we're gonna try to get there in an hour, but can we try to make sure that we don't, keep an eye out on any patrols?
Yes.
Yeah.
The road... It doesn't really curve too much. It doesn't have a lot of open space. It's not a total corridor of forest, so you can kind of between, like, if the road's peeling around, you can kind of see between the trees to eye up ahead. So it's not terrible. If you guys ride at a decent clip, you can still get a visual on the road ahead and possibly deke out of the way if somebody is making their way up the stretch. That said, at a full gallop, that's going to be a challenge. If you guys slow it down, then you can absolutely do that.
Yeah, how about getting there in like 2 hours? Then?
2 hours sounds like a good idea.
I am good out with that. And with that, you guys gallop on. The camera panning overhead as your horse's hooves beat into the dirt, putting dust in the air behind you as their tails slap left and right, leaving the forest in the wake. The sun climbs overhead, peering down into your faces as you come to a stretch of the road where you hear a sudden shriek up ahead. It's about 2-3 o'clock-ish, and that music is not right, actually. We're going to change that.
It's a little loud, Julie.
Is it really?
It is for me.
Oh, wow, I can't hear shit on my end. That's hilarious. Here we go, this is what I'm after. You hear scream penetrate the air. And as you look forth, you can see a little body make its way to the edge of the forest and collapse between the forests. The camera pans in close towards the little body on the ground. And we see you in the distance as it's...
Perception check? Do that. Perception test to see what size of body and possible sex.
Yeah, you can see that the... Actually, what's your passive perception?
That's my wisdom. Passive perception is 13.
The most you can see with passive perception is its diminutive form is green in skin color. The silhouette of it resembles those of the goblins in the backyard at Deadlook.
Seems we may have found our patrol.
Yeah. Can we slow down and try to make our way to the other side of the road and try to kind of hide in the trees there to see what's going on?
So I'm to understand you want to go that way.
Yes.
The camera pans along
Yes.
to show the figures in the distance. That is you. Gallop off to the left, one after the next.
Is there any sounds of battle or?
As you guys come closer and take cover, you hear the echoing of battle cries, the roar of something vicious, and the angry clashing of steel upon other steel, upon flesh, and the subsequent cries of pain and gurgling death echoing out from the trees yonder.
I say we move, do this stealthily.
You want to get off the horse?
Do you want
Yeah.
to do a flank position to try to get a better view?
Yeah, can we
Who's fighting?
hook our horses to like the nearest tree and then start heading?
Not foot.
You absolutely can.
Can I send Duke
You can.
towards the screams?
You totally can.
And I'm going to go into Duke's view,
Okay.
and within 100 feet, I could like do that.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, he's still a squirrel, right? So that's kind of perfect around here.
You can get to this tree.
Do I see anything though, like towards?
So you guys watch as Aldous releases his friend, the little furry figure, pouncing off against the dust and dirt. I don't have a little mini, but c'est la vie. He heads off into the distance, rushing across the landscape, pattering as his little furry self disappears against the dust. A moment later, he scurries up the tree as you let your vision focus in upon the little squirrels. And from where you're situated, up high, upon the tree, well, hello. You see that the tree has somebody else's walnut cache, and it looks tasty, and you feel hungry, but you're on a job that's super important, and you're working it. And inside the cops, you see 2 armed guards, with one surrounded by several corpses.
Can I identify any of those 3?
With their armors on, you can identify them as purple dragons, but nothing further. You don't see like their faces or anything. There's no identity. Although you do see one that's wearing clearly a captain's outfit of some sort, an important figure amidst them all.
I'll point in the direction and I'll say there are 2 purple dragons and a captain over there.
Okay. Did you see Laramis with them at all or no?
I don't see Laramis, I just see the 3 of them and a bunch of dead goblins.
Okay.
Let's say we make up our way behind them. Get a better view. Slowly and
The
stealthily.
game unfortunately pop loads a tree in, given that the engine sucks.
Yeah. Can we stealth to that? You want to stealth to that tree or?
I mean, are we flanking, or we got half the party going one way, half the party going the other? What are we doing here?
I think that's the best idea, honestly.
Okay.
Split the wizards and what else do we got?
Bard,
The
Bard
Yeah.
and Barbarian and Rogue.
Yeah.
Uh,
I guess split the Goliath and the Rogue.
sure.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna cast Long Strider on myself because I don't want to be the slowest guy here.
That's a fair point. Who would want to be? Sup, Wilder Kitty?
so
Alright, so we taking the left, you guys taking the right?
So I'll go with the Goliath and we'll take the right and the rest of you guys take the left.
okay. So you guys are gonna go around and flank? Is that what's gonna happen, or do you want us to go around and flank?
I was gonna make a beeline path to behind them.
Okay.
Since they're looking at the goblins right now. Actually, I don't know that. All this didn't say. But from the general direction, I wanted to hook around a tree behind them.
Okay.
To get a better view to see if Laramis was there.
So you want to go. Where are you in this mix?
I'm the big boy.
I don't think I actually have you out here. Hang on a sec. Let me grab your Goliath for you. Also means we need another horse. I have another horse. Give me a moment. Where's that fucking thing up? Huh. Alright. We'll just have to imagine the other horse.
Okay.
Oh no, here we go. Boom.
I've just got really strong legs.
Frankly, the horse should ride you. So, you are going to, if you are here, where do you want to go?
So basically, not the tree that's right in front of me, but the tree to the left. That one, yes.
Yeah, you make your way across. Panning along with you, camera ends up square behind. What's your total movement with your long stride?
I don't have long stride, but I have a walk, a 30-foot. It's normal. It's 30 feet.
It's 30? Sorry?
Yep. Yeah, my walking speed is 30 feet. I don't know what my running speed is.
What's your, you added long stride to that, so it's another 20 feet on that?
No, that was Resvin.
Oh, sorry. Okay, terrific. So with that said, though, you're double moving is what I understand there. And that will get you to here.
Alright.
But with that said, who is next?
I would like to cast mage armor on myself.
Okay.
I just
I'm going to
want-
ask everybody to roll initiative, actually. It makes sense to me here. So let's get initiatives across the board.
At 20 plus 2, 22.
Listen to that. Wow, setting the pace.
I like the new dice.
It's like, I'll bet you it's coded in there. First game, give him a nat 20.
That's why I did the first roll earlier. I got a 5 on dex when I did
That
the
was,
practice
yeah,
roll.
that's hilarious. I got an 8.
And Victor got a 19 plus 2, so a 21.
I guess I should throw the apron on. I'm on the job now.
All this 9 plus 2, 11.
Alright, we got Aldous in a 9. What's Doc got? It's
Plus
23.
2, so I got 11.
Ah, very good. And Doc's got a 23.
Yep, 22.
22. Right on.
Reson's got 14 plus 4, so 18.
18 for Resman.
Victor has a 21.
21 for Victor. And Tomas.
Just a 10.
Right on. And your Dungeon Master tonight will be going on 1.
Oh.
But he can write his letters really, retardedly. And big, yeah, baby.
My kids would get upset if you used that word. That was a word when I was a kid.
Why would someone want to give us his address?
Sorry, what did you say?
Someone in the Twitch chat is like, hey, big fan of the stream, can I give you guys my address? Thanks. I'm like, what does that even mean? So,
In your face.
with all that established, the music has died, but that's because now we're moving into something different, which is going to be, everything just runs so nicely now. Holy shit, there's no 2 ways.
This
There's
is
no
actually
lag.
really
The
nice.
sound is really good.
Yeah.
There's no 2 ways. It is just exceptional. Proof in the pudding. Weeks of troubles, and then that's it. You know, everything fixed. Works great. Just lovely, lovely stuff. All right. You look ahead to see the combat unfolding as the camera pans back upon
Not very
Doc.
loud, do we?
Hey, is it?
Super loud.
Alright. Alright. How's that?
It's better.
Okay, cool. It's actually coming through desktop audio, so it's good to have you guys as a check and balance on that. As the camera pulls back and zooms in upon where Doc is situated in the trees, slowly angling down as a do, trying to get a good view, because fuck knows my other monitor's all toast. I can barely see you there. But trust me, there's a Doc in that mess. So, what does he do?
I'm gonna make for the set of trees to the right there, off of where where who was that at first that was heading over there?
It's
Had Victor in center?
Yeah.
It's Victor, yeah.
Yeah. So 2 trees off to the right. That's where I'm gonna be heading to, up behind them.
562 west.
And I do have stealth +4. My walking speed is 25. Short legs.
So you're heading off after him? Full tilt?
Could you actually turn the volume of the music down just a little bit more?
Will do. Fuck, I love this soundtrack. So, Doc heads off at a beeline down behind where the barbarian roasted off towards. Is that what I'm understanding?
I was actually heading to the tree just to the right of where he's aiming.
So over here?
Yeah, the one that's a little bit shorter. Yep.
Alright, fair enough. So we'll adjust you as such. Adjust course! And with that said, Victor, once again.
I'm gonna keep making my way towards that large tree with double movement. So both directions.
Gets you there.
Great.
You come plowing in next to the tree, taking cover. You have a bonus action remaining.
For my bonus action, can I look around and see if I see Laramus?
You see 3 knights. 3 knights, one of whom is dressed in a decorated armor that looks nicer than the rest.
Is it something that I remember Laramus being in when we met him for the first time?
When you think back on it, you do seem to remember a form in his office, but it's hard to recall the armor that was sitting upon it. That said, though, you can absolutely see that they're all purple dragons. And do you have a bonus action to declare?
That was my bonus action to see if I saw him.
Okay, fair enough. With that said...
Actually, could I rage? Just in case.
Yes, absolutely. You may absolutely
I would
rage.
love to rage.
Seeing these purple dragons and the goblins sends you into an a blood vessel splitting rage.
Just
Sorry?
to let you know, Sam, your rage will end if you don't take damage or do an attack this turn.
Yeah, I know that's a fault on my part, but I already said it, so.
No, that's fine. I thought it would follow up next turn, but if that's the case, you can hold it off until next.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Kind DM.
I was just gonna throw a rock at it.
I mean, that works too. With that said, it's over to Resvin.
Alright. Where am I now?
Well, that really doesn't show you shit. You're here next to this horse amidst all this.
Okay. I'm going to double move as well and start moving my crossbow into a position where I can fire next round.
Okay. That's fine. All right. Are you moving it all yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna move as fast as I can and get beside Victor.
All right. Double moving down. You've got 50 feet as well. A little bit of a hill leading downwards, so you easily match up to where Victor is. As you careen off past your cohorts, you whip your crossbow forth. How big a crossbow is this?
It's a light.
It's a light? Okay, and you're... so it's still pretty big on you. It's not quite the size of a rifle, but more an SMG. But as you swing it under your arm and bring it up into your hands, you pull a bolt out in one fluid motion and slam it into the trough, yanking the string back with your bonus action. So that's you there, and over to Aldous, situated in the rear here. You look upon the battle in the distance, and what do you do? You muted, bro? Aldous is muted. Aldous is muted.
Hey, I'm back.
Hey,
So I would like to cast Mage Armor on myself, and I would like to scoot forward, I believe.
Ooh, that was probably really loud.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So Mage Armor on myself, scooting forward, and I'm gonna go ahead and move up to where those two guys are.
Alright, sounds good. Wait, is Mage Armor a bonus action for you?
I believe it's an action. One
Okay,
second.
so you're moving
Just
one
casting
movement.
spells,
Still, you're close enough that you end up just behind Resvin.
Yeah, one action. That's fine.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And from there, as Aldous chases after, as Aldous and Resvin race alongside Lucian, the camera pans all the way over to show Tomas in behind and amongst.
I'm over there. Okay. I look to Theros and I say, just stay behind us, just for this bit. We'll call you if we need you.
The camera pans against his face as you say this, and you hear him kind of grumble some words, but you don't quite make out what he says. But his body language says enough as he pushes his horse off to the one side and takes the crossbow off of its hook by his belt and swings it up. You watch as he slams another bolt into his trough and does the same sort of action as Lucian. But this orc is slowly moving forward and has a heavy crossbow as opposed to sorry, not Lucian, but Resvin. But this fellow's got a heavy crossbow in his employ, and as he comes forward, slowly lifting it up, he just gives a grunt and starts to take aim from behind the rock.
I will start making my way over there as well as stealthily as I can.
Okay. As the camera pans back, it shows you clambering over the stones and making your way down. Oh, hang on. Are you making it this way or that way or ahead?
The way that has most cover, so I'm not in view of the fight.
It shows you stealing away around the trees. Sighting down along here, you end up here in movement. Yeah, I'm good with that. Actually, you can even burst through the trees here and make your way. So bursting through the trees, you arrive down upon this place. Technically, you still have an action.
I'll double movement to get to the next nearest tree.
Will you, though? You would need a double movement to reach this one. You could go further over.
No, I'll just stay there then. I will hold Vicious Mockery against if one of my compatriots attacks somebody.
Okay, that sounds good. What's the range on Vicious Mockery?
It's only 60 feet. I think.
It's still 60 feet, so if something happens close to you, but I don't know that anything will be close enough.
Okay,
So with that said, though, that's everyone on the list, save the DM. So he moves into position, as I was mentioning, and takes aim. In the distance, you guys watch as... There it is. Yeah. You guys watch as from the distance you hear the echoes of no, wrong side. But anyway, the din of battle echoing away, bodies hitting the floor one after the next. You hear the screaming out, and suddenly you hear the scream out of a man in pain as an arrow strikes into one of the guards. He stumbles back and shrieks outwards towards the form up top. I know dexterity failing. Point being, as that all takes place, our man in the background stabilizes his crossbow and takes aim. He rolls shit for stealth, though, so he doesn't hide so good. But, point being, he tries to nestle himself under cover, but it doesn't work out. And from there, we roll all the way back to Doc, who in the distance is chasing after his compatriot.
Alright, am I still making my way over to that tree?
I don't know, are you? Yes? You're right
I
here.
mean, who am I seeing right now in front of me? Am I seeing anything to target for besides the head and recovered?
From where you're situated, this is what you see.
Yeah, so I'm still heading over to that tree to the right.
Are you talking about the one Victor's at, or that one there?
To the right of Victor, yeah.
Yeah, okay, true. And, so with a double movement, you can make it to here. That's okay?
Sounds good.
Right on. We watch as Doc's legs scamper his ass over towards the tree as fast as he can, taking cover alongside his compatriot. Camera pans to show the rest of you in the distance. What do you do there, Victor?
So I'm going to move as far as I can for one movement, so 30 feet.
Okay. And where's that going to be to?
I'm running towards the fight, pretty much. And I'm going to pull out one of my hand axes and throw it at one of the... Well, first I'm going to rage, and then I'm going to throw it at one of the goblins.
Okay. As the camera pans against the scene, to show you suddenly burst from cover, moving up the hill a ways, you whip the axe away at the remaining goblin that you see situated up top with his little bow. As the camera pans in behind him, you throw a disadvantage for the distance, I think. What is your actual range on your axe?
The range is 20 to 60 feet.
Okay, so yeah, like I say, you're throwing at disadvantage, but you're just barely gonna hit him.
Okay.
He's literally the extent of 60 feet from you.
So my first roll was an 18, and then my second roll was a 15 plus 5, so a 20.
Smokes him.
Okay.
The axe leaves your hand, carrying your personal velocity with it. As it sails away through the air.
With a total of 4 damage.
He stumbles back as the axe embeds itself. They got 7 hit points, but it embeds himself in his chest.
Actually, it's 6 damage. I'm sorry, I forgot to add the rage modifier.
You know what? That's fine. I'll mulligan that. He was a weaker one, hence the point being is he takes the axe in the chest and falls over.
And once I'm done throwing the axe, I'm going to shout out, Laramus, are you okay?
The fellow in the gilded armor looks towards you as the other 2 guards look over at you coming from cover. And as you approach, they look towards you, each of them lowering their swords or giving them the flick to throw the blood off. What's up?
I just want to know how you're streaming. Like, is your streaming going all right today?
Yeah, it's streaming fine.
Okay, because the kids are using stuff.
That's all good.
Just making sure.
Cool.
Okay.
As I said, they kind of relax down. The one giving a sort of flick to clear it of giblets, and the other just kind of relaxing and looking towards where you guys are. He's half at the ready, but not fully. The gilded fellow, as I said, he does the same, but he takes his cloak and actually gives it a wipe off, and then puts it away there. and lifts the visor on his helmet, showing a sweaty Laramus behind the visor. It's a hell of a throw. What are you doing back here?
Just came here to give you some good news.
He starts walking down the hill, clapping his hands together. He takes one of the gauntlets off and flexes his fingers and puts it back in, and then looks up. As he gets down to the bottom, he's now standing with his, "What's this good news you have for me?"
For that,
Where are the rest of your people?
Are the rest of us walking up?
That's an excellent question. As like I say, he reaches down here, standing across from the hill and still being however far aloft. And you're still however far aloft his head. The rest of your compatriots behind are doing what?
I'm gonna keep hiding, and I'm gonna try to make my way as close as I can in cover.
Okay.
I'm gonna seem like I was one of the people that died in our battle.
Yeah, I'm not really in a rush to come out of hiding here either. I'd like to find a good vantage position, but I'm not rushing out to shake hands.
Fair. At this point, with his visor up, his view is going to be, of course, better. He's going to be... The guards are definitely more aware of their surroundings at this point. And given the sparse foliage, Doc immediately insights that movement would be a bad idea at this point. Your hiding place is good. Best stay there. With that in mind, you can still roll stealth. I mean, you totally could and try and get between cover and its passive perception against your stealth roll. With that in mind, again, what is everyone else doing? So you're staying in cover, or do you want to move forward? Or do you want to move over here? Or Doc, what do you want to do?
I'm trying to take a look at where they're at. I mean, if I can get up to the next set of cover, I'd give it a shot.
So you're currently...
What's going to happen is I come out and they see me. It's not like it's going to be a bad thing. They know what I do. So I got a 15 plus 4 on my stealth for dexterity, so it's 19.
Alright, and you want to go... Where?
Joe, which is the better position as I'm from where I'm looking at? If I'm trying to get up towards that tree up and to the right from that view?
So this one?
Yeah, if that gives me the better position, if that's where I'm heading, yeah.
You make your way around the trees and scamper in towards this tree here, coming in close as the camera pans down to show the guards up ahead, and then leans over to show your compatriot in discussion. Pulling back, we see where Doc is then Victor. You were just discussing with him, so there's that, and then over to Resvin, out in the middle of the field.
Alright, I'm going to roll stealth. Do I have stealth? Yes, I do. So I'm going to roll stealth, and I'm going to try and I don't see where his... Do I see where his horses are?
To be honest, from where you're situated, you do not see his horses, no.
Okay. Then I'm going to try and get around him anyway. So I'm going to try and stealthily circumvent and get around him.
Okay, so what did you roll for stealth?
I'm just about to roll now. Are you kidding me?
Nope. That's real.
It's real. I rolled a 2 plus 6.
Terrific. As you go to rush in behind here to break eye contact, you get the feeling that you were just seen by the fellow yonder. As you kind of dash in towards here, as fast as your little legs can carry you, you see this fellow start to walk down, and his head is definitely tilted towards where your position is. He's tracking you, watching what you're doing. Anything else to declare?
Nothing.
Very good. From there to Aldous. As Resvin continues moseying in towards the tree, the elf in the background does what? Aldous.
Okay, so I can't really go forward now because he's kind of drawn the attention that way, right?
He totally has.
Yeah. So
And as the guy comes into view, he's looking directly at where you're standing as well.
yeah. Can I go? How far are they from me now? How far is all the the soldiers?
About
in?
90 feet, I want to say, or 60 feet. 60, 70, 80 feet.
Okay.
Oh man,
let
that's
me-
just a terrible view.
Fuck it. Let me break off to the left.
You headed that way? Oh wow, that's a
Yep.
bad pointing. So you're headed that way.
Yeah.
Alright. So veering as such. Taking a perfect. Do you want a double move?
Sure. Yeah, I can go ahead and double move that. Yeah.
Alright, terrific. You clear all the way around easily enough, rushing down the road as the camera swings in behind, showing the orc with the heavy crossbow watching you go. He doesn't move his crossbow. He's just he's just watching you, his head turning to track you as he's pointing his crossbow the other way, and then he looks back towards, maintaining his cover as best he can. Tomas, do you have a bonus action actually, Aldous? Do you have anything to declare?
No, that's it.
Then in that case, again, Thomas, what's up?
So do I notice? Did I see that Reston got noticed and Doc is moving up at all?
That is, yeah, it's really obvious the way the guy's body
Okay.
languaging it to just say, you've been seen, why bother?
Okay, and then did they see Aldous at all or no?
Yeah, again, he's just out in the clear. There's no way of missing
Doc,
him.
So Doc and me are technically the only people that haven't been noticed yet right now?
Doc, you, and Theric. Theris.
Okay. Okay, then I'm gonna trust Doc to stay in hiding for a bit, and I'm gonna run out into the open and say, double move to get to Laramus as fast as possible. And I'm gonna just come out in the opening and be like, Laramus, oh, thank God you're alright. We heard the screams and we came as fast as we could.
Camera pans in along here to show you suddenly burst from cover and travels 60 feet up. Boink! As it makes its way into the clearing alongside you, the trees spring to the side. We watch as you come in, melodrama and all. Throw me a performance or deception.
Deception is going to be a 24.
Okay. Wow, I roll an 18. Alright. He still is beaten into the floor by your deception. So he looks towards you, not really reacting, but other than to give a little bit of one of these as he pulls back a little bit and then looks back towards Victor as he puts his hand back into his gauntlet. Cameron circles the moment for a brief second and comes to rest as he looks towards you, and everything kind of goes slow for a moment as in the background the orc kind of steadies his aim, trying to get a clear shot. And the camera pans against the horses pawing next to him, and it shows Aldous off to the one side, Resvin out in the open, you standing there, and a breeze blowing through everyone's hair, cloaks, and robes. And then focuses in on Victor as he says to you, "So what's your good news?"
We took care of your problem.
My problem?
Yeah, your problem.
I'd like to hear more. Stand down, boys. In fact, see if these things had any jerky. They've been known to raid some of the caravans. They might have some of that jerky. Let's hear it, big boy.
Well,
He looks
Yeah,
over
I'm gonna-
towards
I'm
where
gonna-
the bard's standing, staring at him for a moment while you start talking. He just stares at Tomas.
and I'm gonna do my best at trying to be deceptive and point behind him. Say, look, more goblins behind him.
All right, roll me deception.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a dragon!
It wasn't actually bad. It was a 14.
Okay, so not a word of a lie. Laramus rolls a nat 20. He was my first roll. Then I rolled a 4. Then I rolled another nat 20. So one of the guards quickly pulls his blade out and he looks behind. And the other two just kind of stare at you. We wiped them all out, man, says the one there. You got a sense of humor on you. Now, what's this about you solving my problem?
Well, I'm just gonna take a swing at him with my axe.
When the diplomacy fails,
Oh god.
this is not going to go well.
So,
I love that. Holy shit! My deception worked on one person. Like fucking.
with my first roll, I rolled a 19 to hit.
Oh Jesus!
You fucking smoke him with your axe. Roll me some damage. That thing comes out faster than a held fart. It just appears and devastates.
And I rolled a total of 12 damage.
Terrific. You're raging, yeah?
I am, yes.
Alright.
14 damage, sorry.
Alright. I mean, technically I'd be like, you're raging. How did you hold a nice conversation as such? But then you're not holding a nice conversation. You're like, look behind you! Ah!
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly.
So 14 damage is fine. With veins bursting out of your head, you leap forward and he stumbles back as this axe drives up into him. Clank! Against the metal
Sorry,
as
I
you
thought you were gone.
swing up through him in a dramatic uppercut just out of the fucking blue. And he flies off the axe, stumbling as he lands. And the other two guys, in utter shock at this, react ever so suddenly, one after the next, pulling their blades. Actually, the one I already had is out for the surprise. But that said, we're back into initiative. So, Doc, what's up, buddy? Nah, we're just starting from the top and down. Doc,
All right.
Mr. Lucian, be a hero.
So I am.
Oh, hang on.
behind this-
Sorry, super important. I have to go mix a drink.
There you go.
All right, I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
All right.
I'm
So
sorry, guys. I was about to lose my rage. And
That's all
nothing was. I'm doing what Victor would think he would do.
listen, that's your job. I'm thinking that this guard to the left of the in view right now is. I don't know if he's the one with his sword already out or if he's the one that's just in shock. But I think I'm behind this tree just to the left, so I'm probably gonna try and come up behind him and get a good jam in before getting out of the way.
Sounds good.
I don't know how far away everybody else is. Everyone else is still in the middle of the road, right?
I think everyone's pretty close.
And has Theros taken an action yet or anything, or he's just still hanging back?
No, he's holding his action to get a clear shot right now
Ah,
for his crossbow.
I'm sorry, barbarian brain.
and we have no chance of not killing this man at this moment, right?
We'll see. I would like to keep it. I would like to keep Veramus alive.
Oh, I'm gonna try to keep him alive. I mean, unless I die, you know.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know what's gonna.
Well, I
happen.
don't know how. We'll see what level he is.
Yeah, the last time I tried to go for incapacitation, he ended up cutting somebody in half, and then it all went to shit.
Well, the guy pulled a blade, so I was like, alright, I'll pull my axe.
Bit of an overreaction.
That's what you get when you play with the barbarian, huh? You know?
You can't pick your family, you can pick your friends. Oh wait, you still can't pick your party members.
I'm not trying to be a murder hobo, I swear.
Well, I think it's completely within reason, considering the fact that we got, at least we were told we were sold at the creek, and there was no other reason for them to know that we were coming unless someone had told them.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it could not have been him, but
Alright. Okay. As we were. My apologies. Let's rock and roll.
all right. So I think I am behind in the view that we're in right now. I think I am behind the tree on the left-hand side here, and if I'm correct, that guard, I don't know if he's the one that has his sword drawn already or not. Can I get to him and get a good poke in before he either unsheathes his sword or turns around?
So I am down with that. You are stealth. He is not expecting it. And although he's aware and should be expecting it, you are a rogue and rule of cool. But seriously though, throw me stealth as you rush in upon him.
I got a 12 plus 4, so I got a 16.
It'll be his passive perception as he's staring ahead. He's also distracted. You rush forth.
With advantage, right?
He is attacking with advantage for a nice, unexpected surprise attack. So, stabby McStabberson.
So roll twice, you take the higher.
Roll twice to take the higher? Alright.
Yeah.
Roll 20. So the first one is an 11.
Terrific.
And the second one is a 16.
The 11 misses, but the 16 absolutely hits. As you come rushing in, taking a stab into him with your blade, it ricochets off of his armor where you're aiming for the break. As it slams off it and sends sparks up, you expertly let it go, catch it with your other, and bring it around to stab upwards into the same spot. As this all takes place, the guy's like, "What the fuck?" as he stumbles off to the one side, taking sneak attack damage.
So I rolled a 6,
Mhm.
and then I've got damage plus 2, but this is the short sword, which has an extra 1 on the damage, right?
Yes, it does. The dagger has 1 on the damage.
Yeah.
Or wait, short sword? Short sword.
Yeah, the short sword.
Short sword.
It's 1d6, and then I've got it's plus 1 damage on it.
Yeah.
And then roll your sneak attack as well, Sean.
It's a fat masterwork sword.
What am I rolling for the sneak attack?
It's just a d6 right now, or
Okay.
Is it just 1d6?
or is it 2d6? I don't know.
What level are you currently?
I'm a level 2 heading to level 3.
I believe it's 2d6, but
Alright.
Unless we all die.
2d6 is another 6.
terrific. So what was your total there?
That's
9?
12.
12. 12?
No, it's 1d6 for second level right now.
Okay, it's still 1d6. Terrific. So what is your grand total here? 1d6 plus your short sword brought you to what?
The short sword was a 6 plus 1 on the damage. That was 7, and the extra d6 would have been 4,
Okay,
And then
so
plus your modifier for your dexterity.
which is plus 2.
So 9 plus 4 is 13 damage.
13.
Yeah.
And this is
for a
on.
little guy.
Terrific. Glad we got that figured out. That's a bit of accounting, eh?
And then do you want to do for bonus action, do you want to do an offhand attack with your other?
I did not have the offhanded because we switched hands to make the second hit. You said, right?
Well, coat of paint.
No, yeah, that was.
I mean, normally I'm equipped two-handed. Normally I'm equipped with the short
Yeah.
sword and the dagger.
Don't ever think that my coat of paint is going to rob you of actual mechanics. If there's in this case, I mean, really, all you'd have is the guy flips it to the other hand, does the thing, and then he pulls out his offhand dagger and thrusts it in. So, as long as you're not going to try to ding me back on the coat of paint, it's all good.
No, all right. Then the other one is a 15 for the dagger.
Terrific stuff. So that said, you expertly thrust up into him with a backhand and pulling your other blade out, bring that to thrust against where his spine should be. What was the total roll? Was 15?
Yeah.
Misses by 1.
Ooh.
With a 16 AC, you thrust in upon where his spine should be, hoping to end him, and watch as sparks fly off the tip of the blade.
Ah.
Leaving 2 large scratches against his armor, he gives a grunt, trying to catch his breath with a blade stuck into his liver. Kidney, I should say, kidney. From there, the camera pans away from your gaze, Doc's expression showing...
Now, hold on. Before that happens, I have a bonus action for cutting action.
Well, that was your offhand
That was
attack,
bonus?
though.
Okay.
That was your offhand attack. So, as the camera pans away from Doc, to show Victor down below, pulling his axe back off of the marshal.
With a murderous screech, I yell traitor, and I go for another hit with my axe.
All right.
And,
As the massive blade swings around.
I'm going to use reckless attack, so the next time someone swings at me, they get an advantage on me.
Okay, that sounds good.
I rolled a total of 17 damage. Or 17.
Hits. Clears his
And
AC
I
by
rolled-
1.
I rolled a 10 plus 3, so 13 plus 2, which is 15 damage.
15. This is to go with the 14 that you put on him earlier. That's fucking fiendish. As the axe lifts off of him, he crumples into his stance. "Ah, bastard!" He pulls his sword out as you bring the axe around. "Traitor!" And it slams down as he tries to defend himself. He's bringing his blade out, and you catch him in the elbow with the haft and just punch through with the axe. "Ah!" As he crushes against it, the axe actually goes around him, and you end up more or less plowing through him, punching him with the pendulum weight of the axe. And as you crash off of his elbow, you manage to get him to punch himself in the face and then follow through with the axe handle and everything bashing through his helmet. The whole of him just dents in, and you watch his blood spews off of his jaw. He screams out in pain and falls to the one side as he manages to unfurl his blade at the last, and he holds it, looks up towards you, blood streaming down his head. And from there, it is over to Resvin, if you could. From in the background, the little man rushing across the landscape. The camera pans to show you from the back as you're making your way in towards the battle.
Okay. The guy who was hit with the axe. Who's the guy who got hit with the axe again?
Laramus is getting smoked with the axe.
Okay. I am going to sweep him, and then
What's the range? What's the range on sleep?
90.
Okay.
Yeah, 90 feet.
Yeah, you're very good. Okay. So you can aim well away from your companions if you're so inclined. Because it's a radius, don't forget.
Oh,
Sleep is a
you're right, you're
radius.
Yes.
And you affect
Okay.
everything in that radius.
Can I hit the 3 Goombas in that radius?
I believe it's a 30-foot or a 60-foot.
No, it's tighter than that. It's 20.
Ah, very nice. Okay, so, with my handy-dandy template, let's see. So, no. This guy's gonna escape.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take the 2 that I can get.
Sounds good. You blast off the words of the arcanic energies, and they echo across the ether. splashing down upon them as you roll hit points to see how many you affect.
23.
Oh, Jesus, really?
Yep.
Split between them. All right, well, Laramus drops. He just clattering down into a mess of metal and blood. He passes out. His body almost thankful for it. As the camera pans around and these two goons stare at what's just happened. The camera pans to Aldous.
Wait. My bonus
The other
action.
two
sorry.
fall asleep?
No, they did not. But what's
So-
sorry? What are you doing, Resvin?
I'm going to use magic stone, so I have a 1 pound rock.
Okay.
A stone in my hand, and I'm whipping it. I'm going to hit the guy who didn't drop.
All right, fair enough. This is just you're throwing it.
Yeah. So it's magically enhanced. It's magic stone, right? So it's 1d6, and then I can throw it, or I can use a sling or whatever. I'm just going to throw it.
Okay, that's fair. All right, I got you. So you're throwing at disadvantage, and I'll be generous that you can hit him.
It has a range of 60 feet.
Okay.
Okay.
To be honest, yeah, you can hit him dead on then. Like literally, you're at the extent.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
And so with that, you conjure up a glowing rock. As the camera pans back against the scene, shows you hurl it away.
Right.
Do you have any wise words, any epithets to throw with it?
Catch.
Ha.
I have to roll the hit, right?
Yes, please.
And
So it's
I get
not at disadvantage. It's not at disadvantage.
okay.
I should
my
almost
spell
throw
attack
cover at you, but I'll not do that.
And my
That'd be
spell
nice.
attack is +7, so I got a 22.
All right. So with a 22, you hit. You can throw me a d6 of damage. As the rock sails through the air, flying ever so swiftly and smoothly through the sky, it lands down below, slamming into the guy's head, and like so much Gambit's kinetic energy explodes against it for 3 damage.
Yes.
We'll say this is the guy that took 13.
Wait, sorry, +5. So,
No, actually, that's the guy you stabbed. So this is the other guy. So sorry, how much damage?
Sorry, it's 3 + 5, so 18.
18?
Or sorry, no, 8.
8.
Sorry,
I was gonna say.
8.
With that said, yeah, you slam him in the head with a rock for 8 points of damage as it kind of explodes like Gambit's cards. A little bit of kinetic energy goes a long way. And that's you? Did you want to move at all?
I'll continue to move closer to the
Okay. You rush in upon the battle, the camera panning in alongside you, and then suddenly shifting off to the side to show Aldous yonder. What's up, buddy? You sight the battle up ahead, and you...
How far is that tree from me? Up, like straight to the left a little bit. Yeah, there. Another one.
It's a double move. This one is generously a single move.
Alright, let me get as close to that one, that other one that's a single move. You need
This
to
one?
get all the way. The single move.
This one.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll run you in close.
And then let me cast. Have the other two been attacked?
They have been. They've both taken damage. One, actually, as you run around the tree, you watch as a sort of yellow, energetic explosion takes place, and you watch a bunch of rubble burst off of a flying rock that careens off of his head, and he just, and he looks over as it clangs off of his head.
And where are they at? Like on the Like, if you-
So this guy's right here, and
Yeah.
this guy, you can't see him. I mean, you can't see him, but your dude can kind of see him through the brush.
Okay.
Oop, hi, how you doing, camera?
Shit. Well, I guess I'll cast just a firebolt at the one to the right.
That's what I was gonna do.
Oh. 17 plus 5. And then 1d10, because I'm sure that hits something 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Yeah, it smokes him.
And that'll be a 9 plus 9. 9 damage.
9 damage.
Yeah.
Brings him to 17 points of damage total. And what are you hitting him with?
Just a firebolt.
Alright, sounds good. As this thing goes off, sailing away, I believe that was... Hang on a sec, we're over here. This one. I had to tune that down. Anyway, the firebolt sails away, striking into him and exploding, a conflagration of flame bursting against his upper torso, splashing up into his visor. He turns away from it and kind of whirls around, shaking his head, trying to get rid of the flame as fast as he can. And he yells out, "Fucking mage! Take out the mage!" And the other one yells out, "How am I supposed to get around all these? We've got to run! Laramus is down, we're done!" As the camera pans against their frantic faces and shows all this there with a smoldering fingertip concluding, does he have anything else to declare?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Are you moving before you fire? Because, I mean, you don't exactly have line of sight where you're at. I should have asked that before you fired, but point being. Where are you firing from? Do you want to be behind the tree, up here, or do you want to be over here?
I've seen him before I ran.
Yeah, so you can kind of like, you can see him through the
It's
brush.
120 feet distance on that one.
No, that's the range. That's the issue. The range is not the issue. The issue is you have cover. So there's a tree right in the way. There's this tree right in the way. So you're firing on this guy. Even if you're firing on this guy over here,
Yeah.
there's still a tree in the way. This
But
is
from
you.
where I was at before, what I've seen him from when I first started running.
So again, I'm saying you can
Or
see
did I
these.
kind of just like run?
You can see these guys through the branches and brambles of the spruce.
I see.
But if you fire a firebolt into it, you're gonna hit the spruce. The firebolt's big. It's a firebolt. So it's gonna hit the tree before it hits them, and it's gonna go up, and the tree's gonna be on fire. You probably don't mind the tree being on fire, but that's not your goal here.
Yeah.
So my point being, you got to move about 20 feet to the left or the right. It's your call which direction.
I mean, I'll take to the right.
Terrific. Rushing around to the one side, you take aim and fire into him. He shrieks out as I described, as the flames take effect. From there, it's over to Tomas.
Can I flank with Doc to the guy that he's facing?
Yes, just barely, I think. That's me being generous. It's a bit uphill, but I'll allow it for the rule of cool. I'm such a benevolent guy.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. This camera pans around, though, to watch as you come rushing in unexpectedly, because there's no way he could have made that distance, but for his friend, for love. Anyway, closing the distance upon the guy, flanking as you do, you rush in, bearing your blade, you bear down on him.
Yep, I'll hit him with my rapier. That will be a... that'll be a 21 to hit.
Hits.
So that will be 8 damage.
Sweet. This guy goes to 26. No, 25. From 17 to 25 points of damage as you rush in with your rapier and carve against him. As he goes to block in, you quickly and deftly slap down the blade and then carve up across his armor, the blade leaving a bludgeoned crevice against it as it dents in slightly. He hoofed us back as the impact hits him deep down inside. deep
Yeah.
down inside.
As my bonus action, I will give Doc a bardic inspiration. I'll say, Doc, finish this fucker off.
Anyway,
So you get inspiration, Doc. So you get a D6 for your attack roll, saving throws, or ability checks. And I will end my turn there.
that sounds fabulous. From there, it is over to moi. As Aldous snoozes on the ground, the fellow in front of Doc turns around and quickly unfurls his blade once. Doc definitely brings the first dagger down and bashes the sword around, but the guy quickly reverts around and spins to bring the blade down on the other side. No, he already rolled. 11 plus bonus for 16 against your AC. Does he hit?
My AC is 13.
It's 13?
13.
He smokes into you for a D8. Oh shit. 8. 8 plus 3 for 11 points of damage.
And I am down to 7.
As he comes in towards you and quickly clangs off of your dagger the first, bringing his blade around, stabbing into you unexpectedly. The camera pans.
Can I use Bardic Inspiration?
No, that's not fair.
Dodge? No.
No. The camera pans upwards to show this guy suddenly rush in upon and leap upon Victor. Sailing in overhead, he brings his blade down with a 7 plus 5 for 12 against Victor's AC.
Advantage.
Sorry?
You have advantage because I recklessly attacked.
Oh, that's true, actually. So 15. Does 15 hit you?
My AC is 16.
Okay. As he leaps down through the air, landing against your axe, which you immediately just bring about yourself, he clashes against it, sending sparks off of your blade. And landing down underneath, he suddenly thrusts up into your chest, slashing against your armor for 8 with 18 plus bonus, 23 against your AC, and with a D8 of 1 plus 2 for 3 points of damage. As he thrusts up, you see it just a little too late and slap the blade out of the way just as it's about to plunge into you, causing a scrape against your armor and flesh, leaving a blood trail, but no more than a flesh wound. So 3 damage on you as he carves against. Laramus snoozes like a champ until the guy bonus action kicks him in the fucking head. So Laramus is going to take, for his strength, there's 2 points. So 3 points, actually. 32 points of damage, and he's no longer asleep. Laramus wakes up, but he has sleepy times. You know what? He doesn't get a turn this turn. I don't want him to have a turn. So
He gave you get up anyway. You can have it so he gets up.
I could. Point being, he's got hit points. Trust me, he's got hit points. But from there, it's over to the camera, which pans away into the back. Oh, hello. And shows on approach. These guys come rushing out, and amidst them, the tall, gangling form of one angry fucker. And as these guys come out to the side, Victor, Resvin, and Aldous, you guys can kind of see this out of the corner of your eye. Meanwhile, Victor watches as 4 plus 2 for that guy. So 6 points of damage. As from the back, the camera pans against to show this guy suddenly as he unleashes a bolt that sails away. And the guy in front of Victor has not taken a lot of damage. He's going to take another 6 points there. As it explodes off him, Sorry, as a shower of sparks explodes off of the guy in front of Victor, you watch a bolt the size of a small branch just burrow into his shoulder pauldron and try its damnedest to pierce into his heart. It stops just short of burying itself in his shoulder, but all the same penetrated his armor. And you look back instinctually as you see Resvin and Aldous making their approach to see just slightly the blur of this guy in the background moving aside the rock cover once again. And as the camera pans back over to show you guys how y'all doing. We'll do that. And this. So, from me back over to, that was me? Yeah, over to Doc. What's up, Doc?
I don't really have much of a choice. I'm going to attack and keep moving forward.
That sounds fine. Let me hear them clatter. Or not, actually, because this is all digital.
It doesn't make any sound. My first one is a 1.
That's amazing. All right, terrific. You lose that blade as it ricochets off his armor, and you lose your grip trying to avoid his incoming elbow.
And my second is a 13.
Terrific. As
You can use
the
your bardic inspiration to hit if you want to try. Hit.
oh yeah, you can roll your bardic inspiration on the non-crit fail.
Okay.
D6.
You got it.
You get 3.
I got a 1.
Damn.
Oh shitty.
Dude, these fucking dice suck balls, man.
You know, I believed in you. I did.
I did too. That's why I gave you bardic, bro. Because I knew you.
As you take the first blade, first swing in, your blade ricochets off of his armor, grabbing the point in between the plates as he twists to slam you in the face with his elbow. It flings out of your hand unexpectedly, flapping end over end, landing in the dust just yonder. Meanwhile, there's the
surprise attack bonus since you have someone next to you.
you would have advantage, yeah.
Yeah, so roll 2 more times, Doc.
Mechanic on mechanic on mechanic on mechanic.
We'll roll another 20.
Yes, please.
Not much.
Sorry.
It's 6 at least.
I'm sorry? Did you still fuck it?
Better than a 1.
This is true. Not gonna argue.
And roll 1 more time.
And roll 1 more? Alright.
Yes,
Dear
please.
Lord, come on. Come on. Something that shitty. A 7. I am clawing my way up the ladder.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
The fates have
God.
deigned. I just want to say, I've seen this 1,000 times. I'll bet you your next one will be amazing, though. But let's not tempt fate. Save it for something special. Point being, though, despite all of the fate's needs and wants, despite all the best advantages, the fates deny you. As you, again, like I was saying, bring the blade up, catches a point between the plates, the guy twists, brings his elbow in your face, and the dagger flings away, lands in the dust over there, and then he swings around on you with that elbow as you duck under, trying to bring your blade in upon him, and it nearly catches you with the elbow as you kind of like duck under it like this, bringing the blade around, and it still scratches off of his armor. You kind of feel the need to swear under your breath, but you're a professional. Point being, though, the camera pans against the show. Victor, once again. Actually, I'll just show everybody from way up here on it now. Hi, Victor.
Put down your fucking blades if you don't want to die. And I swing my axe at the, not Laramus, but the guy next to him.
Menacingly, or are you trying to hit him? Are you
No,
intimidating
I'm
or
trying to
hitting?
hit him.
You're hitting him? Okay.
I'm trying to. So I rolled a 18.
Hits.
13 plus 5 to hit.
Yep.
And then 2 plus 3, 5 damage, plus 2, 7. A total, it's a 7 damage.
7 damage is fantastic. As it explodes against him. That is really not the right one. No. That sounds more like it. There we go. That's more like it. Yeah, that's right. 7 points of damage explodes off of him as he stumbles backwards with 26 total now, up from 19. His armor dents across the chest as you just hammer into him and take your arm back as the axe rebounds off of the metal's elasticity, which it actually has when a massive barbarian slams into you. It's a velocity, it's physics, it's a funny thing. As you pull your hand back, it sails easily through the air with the expression of what?
I'm just fucking pissed.
All right.
I'm in a huge rage, and I'm trying to hold back, but I'm also trying to murder him at the same time.
Sounds excellent. Sparks explode. Bits of metal and gore spurt from where the metal penetrates into the poor fuck. He stumbles backwards from the blade, still alive and regretting it. The camera swings to show Resvin just off to the one side.
Alright, I'm going to send...
Send it! Yeah, send it!
Alright, so I'm going to pull the trigger. And what do we got here? Oh, I got a 2. Plus...
I am inspiring you. You know what, Ricky boy? I am inspiring Resvin.
That's awesome. I will take it.
Damn right
I
you
rolled
will.
a nat 20.
That's what I like to hear. Don't waste my gifts.
That is awesome sauce.
Thick and gooey.
What do we got here? Attack. And so I now roll a d8 plus 4. And so is it 2d8 when I roll that 20? Or double it?
Yeah, you double it. No, sorry, hang on. Why are you rolling 2d8 is because of your nat 20.
Yeah, the crit.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's totally it.
Okay. So I got a 2 on the d8, so that's a 4 plus 4, so 8.
Did you roll 2d8?
No, I just doubled the 1. Or do you want me to roll 2?
Roll 2. Jesus.
Okay.
That seems like highway robbery. Oh my god.
Okay, so I rolled a 1, so I got a 2 and a 1.
Shut
So
the
I got-
front door. Oh my god.
So I got 7 total.
Yeah, it's a crit hit if I ever heard of one. Alright, well, as you hit him with a, sorry, this is your,
Light crossbow.
that's your crossbow? Terrific. The bolt sails away as the string snaps taut, as it plunges into him for 7 damage. Yeah.
7 damage.
Yeah. From 26 up to 33, as it sails through the air, smashing into against his pauldron and slamming up into the side of his cheek. He screams out in pain, pulls the bolt out. What the fuck have you done, you goddamn... Then he drops it down, suddenly realizing how he's fucking in shock, like all his wounds are starting to catch up to him. And he swings the blade around. I'm not gonna die like this, he says. And he looks out towards you. I'm a man of the purple... This is insane! And he looks towards the figure on the ground. Get up, you dumb idiot! Camera pans against the scene to show Resvin in the background with an expression of Aldous standing next to Resvin as he fires this crossbow bolt off, watching the reaction of the soldier. What do you do?
Okay, so that guy, he's still alive.
Oh yeah.
I am going to
Just barely.
cast Toll the Dead on him.
Oh shit. Let's hear about it.
And that is going to be a save.
On my
from
part
me.
for 19. Oh, damn.
So it's not going to do shit.
As you reach out across the ether, you can hear the tolling of the dead echoing out against you, but unfortunately, you are the only one.
I don't think the Toll of Dead has worked yet.
Yeah.
It's hit or miss. It's hit or miss.
When it hits, it's good. But when
Yeah. With that, do you have anything to declare, sir? Anything else?
No, I'm probably just going to stay right here.
It's a nice place, you
The
know,
bonus. Yeah,
It's
for
cool.
a range guy.
for sure. Over to Tomas. As you reach out against the ether and fail, the camera swings across to show Thomas in the midst of battle.
Yeah, I'm gonna just swing my rapier again. Try to get this guy down.
Terrific. Let me hear about that.
That's a 18 to hit.
18 hits.
That will be 5 damage.
As you swing it upon him for 5 points of damage, bringing him to 30 from 25. His armor dents in once. Wait, you're hitting him with your rapier, yeah. His armor dents in once again as you bludgeon against it, slipping it under his shoulder pauldron and scratching into him, pulling flesh off from under his padding. Definitely pulling apart. His pauldron comes loose as you snap it off and give a deft twist of your wrist, ready for the next.
Then I will Bardic Inspiration Doc again. I'll say, "Come on, Doc, do something."
From there, the camera pans to me.
You need to do more lifting, Thomas.
The guards once again swing in towards Doc with a 2. He comes in to grab a hold of you and kind of stab, but you definitely move out of the way and kind of swat the one hand and kick him in the foot. He doesn't lose his balance altogether as he stumbles trying to grab and stab into you again, failing with a 2 and a 4 respectively. As the other fellow squaring off with our man Victor rears backwards, he comes in with a feint, goes to punch you, ends up swinging down and slashing against your knee with a 16 plus bonus, landing a hit for 5 plus 2 for 7 points of damage. He brings in for an uppercut suddenly a second later, 14 plus again, bringing him in for another hit of 6 points of damage. Each of these cuts lands against you as you roll with them instinctually, your rage, adrenaline pumping your reactions such that you let slices land against your furs, but the bludgeoning is what really tickles.
So what's the total damage?
I believe it was 7 there, if it's all halved down.
Okay.
And that is the guards. As the camera pans against the scene for a moment, it pulls backwards and shows in the distance the movements of figures moving forth.
Doc and I don't know it.
There's a quick cutaway to show this fellow. As the camera pans down quickly to show him situated there and levels off against him. We see a little figure come close. Oi. He says, shh. He says, what are you doing? He says, I'm about to shoot. What are you shooting at? One of the armed figures. Right. Did. So, with a loud kwap, the crossbow lets go of the bolt as it sails away, and the little goblin, yeah, gives one of these as it explodes against the guard in the distance. It takes 9 plus 2, 11 points of damage, and you guys watch as his head fucking explodes off of his body. The whole of his head with a small branch clanks through the metal of his helmet and almost rips his neck apart. His neck snaps ever so satisfyingly as the camera pans against the scene to show in the distance.
Does it peg him to a tree? Maybe better.
No, he actually just drops. His head snaps to the one side and he falls backwards. The velocity more or less carrying him over. The velocity of the bolt slamming into him, carrying him over. As this occurs in the distance, the camera pans back towards the figures down below. And he looks down towards this guy and says, what do you want? And the little goblin says, I want to see you do that again. To which the guy slams a bolt back into the trough, chink, pulls it back, raw arm, not even using a winch, just yanks back a heavy crossbow bolt into position, gets it locked, and then hefts it up, getting himself back on the trigger a second later. As this occurs, the view swings back to show. Oop, hello. A lot of you guys, once again. Back to Doc, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, you forgot Laramus.
Oh, did I forget Laramus? Oh, that's right, he did wake up. He, groggy through the whole of this, eventually rouses himself. Oop, hello. So much wire. As he positions himself, watching the other guard explode. The other guard's head explode. Where are we here? This guy right there. This guy looks over towards. You can see just from the outset as he gets to his feet and looks groggily towards where Victor's standing. He's having difficulty keeping himself aloft. But he reaches down and he picks up his sword and looks at you for a moment. Tries to wipe a bit of the grime off of his face. And he looks over towards the guy who's on the ground and he leans against his sword as he feels like he's about to pass out again. Finally, he looks up towards you. There's gotta be a way we can work this out. What do you want? You said you took care of my problem. What's the story? What do you want?
I'm gonna wait to reply until it's my action.
Alright. And from me, it's over to Doc.
Light him up again. Let's go.
You pick up your sword.
Yeah, I mean, is that one action? Is picking up the sword and then get a shot at the second one?
Bonus action is to get your sword off the ground, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I actually don't have the fairy running. Oops. Guy actually in the chat is like, hey, I want to inject. Well, he's not like, hey, I want to inject, but he tried to inject, and the fairy's not running. Suppose I should get her running. Alright, so she's running now. There she is. Well, in a moment, anyway. Where were we? Sorry. So, you pick up your blade off the ground, or you don't?
I only have my dagger in my hand, right?
Currently, yeah. The other one's in the ground.
Yeah, let's take the action, pick up the short sword, and then get a swing with it.
Alright, sounds good.
With advantage.
I'm sorry, how does it work?
You have advantage because there's a dude on the other side from you.
So the first one's a 9. Second one's a 12.
Total?
What am I adding on?
Well, does it automatically add on, or does it?
No, it's not. What am I mean, what thing am I supposed to be rolling here then on
So your attack roll is going to be proficiency plus your strength or dexterity bonus in this case, and whatever you rolled. So your 12 plus dex
click on the
bonus
dexterity
plus.
to roll, right?
Your weapon will actually have the total next to it, in fact. Like your total attack bonus for that weapon will be listed next to it on your character sheet.
Alright, so if you look at your weapon...
I thought it auto-totaled that for you, though.
I am, that's what I'm trying. I was just rolling a d20. So short sword plus 1 damage, hit DC says plus 4. I rolled the die and B came up, which is apparently a 20. There you go, 24.
Oh, that's
A
fine.
nat 20?
Nat 20, yeah, a B, whatever B is. They don't have a 20.
Okay. So.
I mean, that's. Well, you can't see it because I have my weird fucking background going on, but it's a 20.
Okay. So then you roll. You roll 4d6, right? Yeah. It is nat 20. It's 4d6.
Sorry, say again.
You got a nat 20.
For his sneak attack? Okay, terrific.
That was the last hit on the.
It does total it up. Okay, terrific stuff. With that said, though, so let it up, as you
So
said.
roll 4d6 stuff.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and roll. And 6, 5, 4, 3. I got it straight.
18 plus your damage, which is 19 plus 2, which is 21.
That what he said.
Wait, 21 damage?
Because he rolled.
Yeah, no, you
4d6.
did. Oh my god, Jesus Christ! All right.
Rogues, man, when they crit, they crit.
Yeah, no shit. Right. That's sad.
I don't know how we got to that, but I'm okay with it.
Well, you got it straight. 6, 5, 4, 3. So 11 and 7 is 18, plus your bonus, which is 4.
No, plus 2, which is so 18 plus 2, which is 20, and then he has the short sword is plus 1 damage, so 1 damage is 20.
There you go. So 21 points of damage. And, Jesus. I mean, yeah. No, that ends him. Fuck.
Now, is it end him, or is that like...
I mean, I was about to describe he stabs him in the throat.
Because I do have Spare the Dying.
Okay, well, I mean, if you wanna do that, I'm fine with that.
I want 10,000 platinum. Well, this guy knows what the 10,000 platinum is.
No, that was the guard, Dresden, not Laramus.
That's not Laramus.
Okay. Oh, so that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
let him die.
Fine. Take the other guy out too. Come on.
Yeah, we already did. It's just Laramus by himself, but we also have. Well, you guys know, but me and Doc don't know that we have goblins as well. Killer.
So, as you stab into him, and he shrieks, and then you twist, and he shrieks once again, and then you tear out his flesh, and he doesn't shriek. He falls to the ground a moment later, dead. The camera pulls back to show Laramus standing amongst Victor, Resvin, Aldous, as you in the background clean off your blades with a one of these.
I reload.
You do so. You put another bolt in the trough and pull the string back as behind this thing saunters around and makes its way in towards where you guys are standing.
Oh, do Doc and I see it now?
Oh yeah, you absolutely do.
Okay, then I ask, do we want to make another 100 gold, or do we want to talk it out with this thing?
I want 10,000 platinum. So,
Well, we have Saberfang to deal with right now, so.
yes. But he's in this whole 10,000.
He's a troll. He's a troll, though.
I mean, I know my thing is ended, but when I get the moment, I mean, if what's his name is throwing his sword down, Laramus is throwing his sword down. I mean, my job is now to hold him hostage in front of the goblins and this troll.
Well,
Because obviously they want to kill him.
So it's Victor's decision. Right
Yeah.
now.
So I was waiting for my turn to reply to him.
And it is your turn, sir.
Lie down on the fucking ground and talk.
Camera pans in close upon, and he looks at you, and he looks over towards where the trolls are as he sees them approach. And much to your chagrin, he suddenly picks up his blade, disengages, and runs.
God damn it.
I'm gonna use my action to throw my axe at him.
Alright, sounds good.
My hand axe.
Actually, you can't actually grab his sword. I mean, in this case, you know what? That would be 2 actions. His reaction was to run, so that's going to be that. He threw his blade down. He sees the troll. He bolts.
And I'm throwing it at his legs to try to trip him up.
That sounds fine.
I rolled a 15 plus 5, so a 20.
It's a good hit. All right. I'll throw him a dex check against. What's your damage on that? Your damage plus 10.
5 plus 2, which is 7 damage.
So 17. He rolls a 5. So. Jesus, yeah.
I'm just trying to trip him up. I'm not sure.
You don't just trip him up. He's pretty fucked up. As you smash into his leg, he shrieks out as it kind of embeds for a moment, and you see it move with his leg, and you see like he's actually lifting the weight of the thing, and then he falls off balance as it falls from his thigh. He almost falls over himself, but then manages to actually, you know what? He falls down to one knee. And he ends up stopping. He ends up stopping about halfway away. So just as he gets to the tree's edge. Sorry?
I'm gonna say now you're almost lie down the rest of the way.
He sits there whinging and wincing in pain, and and says something about barbarians, dead mothers, and fish. Regardless, he doesn't lie down. He sits on his knee, just bleeding and huffing, but he doesn't move.
That's my turn.
Indeed it is. And from there it's to Resvin.
Okay, I'm gonna hold a spell, and if he moves, I'm gonna let it go off right away.
Okay, sounds good. Readied spells go off. That's the rule, though, in the book. When you ready a spell, you are casting it, period.
Okay.
Yeah. So meaning if the trigger doesn't happen, you lose the spell slot.
Regardless.
Okay, it's just a cantrip.
Okay.
All right, then terrific. You said casting a spell. You didn't specify which spell, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, just a mind sliver.
Okay, terrific stuff. That's fine. So, that said, you prep it, ready it, ready to go off at a moment's notice.
Ooh, that's so loud.
Is it really loud?
Yeah.
That was
See
loud.
right there. Yeah.
There you go.
It plays at random pitches, so I've turned down the master volume. It's at like 11%. That's crazy how loud it is for you guys. Okay, cool. That's better. That's at like 4%.
Yeah, better.
You need to use something with an amp, so that way you can adjust it for you, but not us.
I am using an amp, actually, so I could technically do that over here without issue. And so you guys will be really loud now.
Test, test.
Oh yeah, you guys are loud. But that's okay. Where was I in all this?
You were holding a spell, and we have goblins coming at our back.
That's right, thank you.
But we do know they're coming because...
I mean, they've made themselves very apparent, as you can clearly see. As the camera pans again sidelong to show the backside of this one, approaching upon your camp with his companions swarming around the camp from all sides. It shows you in the center, and you can see in the distance the rabble of more goblins situated at the forest's edge.
Doc, prepare your poisons. You have paralytic poison?
That's what we're going to do in the middle of all this at the moment.
You're just dipping the edge of your stuff in there and just...
I mean, my thought, at least at where we're at, is to get myself as quickly over to Laramus so that we can negotiate, because everybody wants this man dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it would be good to have somebody have hands on him, and right now he's crippled.
Do we really care about Silverfang? Or do we really care about Saberfang?
I just got the shit kicked out of me, so my job is to protect my ass. I'm true neutral. I really don't give a fuck about anybody else. So my job is to have somebody between me and that thing. So that's what I would be doing right now is getting over there to...
Well, we're still in combat, so it's all this, right? You're next.
I don't know. I think so. I'm not
It would be after Resvin. I believe Resvin just went, yeah?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's over to Aldous.
And ready this cantrip.
Oh, is that me next?
That is you next. You're up, Aldous.
Okay, where am I at on there?
You are here, next to Resvin.
Okay. I mean, we're fighting these goblin guys, right? Like that's what the plan is here.
That is currently the plan.
Within our plan, so.
After a fashion. I don't know. It's up to you guys, really. I don't think anyone's fighting the goblins yet. I think everyone's just trying to close in on Laramus. But I mean, you're your own dog. What do you want to do, really?
I'm gonna move to closer to Laramus, where Laramus is at.
Sounds good.
And I am going to ready a firebolt for if I see a goblin attack any of my comrades here.
You close the distance on where Laramus is positioned, taking cover against the trees and eyeing towards where the goblins and the half-troll of Repute are approaching upon. He sights over towards where you are, as the camera leans to the one side, showing you prepared for anything. Are you readying a spell, cantrip, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm readying firebolt for, and it's not necessarily, and it's just that for whichever one is going to attack.
That's fine. Anybody who comes in upon you can eat a flaming spheroid of flame. Eat a spheroid of flame. That was a funny sentence to me. Anyhow, with that said, you position yourself, summoning etheric energies into your fingertips, charging up, ready for the kill. From there, camera pans over towards to show our man Tomas.
I move, so I'm like halfway between Laramus and Saberfang.
Alright, sounds good. You do so, rushing down towards, do you want to be closer to your companions, or like literally the halfway mark?
I'll be like right there, like right in the halfway mark.
Alright, that sounds good. As the camera swings over to the one side, showing where Saberfang is standing, situated against you, showing you resolute, bravely standing in the pathway between you and between him and Laramus.
I'll say to him, Saberfang, what do you want?
He stops mid-stride, slowing down slightly, and continues walking a second later as he says, I want his head. I want me pay. I want me goblins back. And a couple of the goblins around him chitter, yeah! I want me wife back! Vicious bitch!
The goblins are dead, probably, because it's...
No, they all dead, you git. Of course they're fucking dead. He shouts out across his slathered snaggletooth fangs. Of course they're fucking dead, this fucking fuck. He fucking killed them. Fucking took them. Fucking heads and all. Fuck. Probably claimed a bounty on him. Fucky! And he raises a massive clawed finger out.
Well, how much did he promise you?
We were supposed to get 100 out of the lot.
Just 100 gold.
How much was there? How much was there?
There's only 1,000.
He gives a nod. He thinks about it a moment. That's a good percent. You look upon him and your passive insight says he probably doesn't know how to calculate percent, but you probably heard something somewhere somehow. Thinks it's a good thing to say.
Well, we have business with him before you. So...
And the troll actually screws up his face at this and says, does your business involve killing him?
It does.
That's good enough. We will stand by and watch.
I turn my back and I say, are we gonna say like, what are we doing?
Do we have to take him in alive?
No, we didn't take his head.
No, the Theris and them just wanted his head. Everybody wants his head. The rest of them, they
We want him
get.
alive for the money.
No, we can get rid of
Fine,
Nathan.
right,
And,
that's what our goal is. But we're going to eventually try to turn him into somebody.
Who are ye? Well, I'm here to watch him get his head taken off.
I'm gonna pick up his sword off the ground.
You do so. It's got a nice heft to
I
it.
don't know who's up, but if somebody wants to offer me, like, listen, like, we'll cover your 100, but we need a couple of moments to figure out where he's got the other 9.
The troll gives a nod at this and says, "You'll pay it, then we'll be on our way." The orc looks up towards the troll and looks back towards towards you, actually, who just offered this, and he slings his crossbow and just puts his hands on his hips and waits it out.
So are we out of combat right now, Theo?
It seems like he's just standing there, and Laramus is, ah, ah,
Can we take Laird
ah,
jump,
ah,
please? And I start drag him over here and drag him kind of like a little bit.
I mean, I would rather have the discussion with him
Do
after.
we
that.
have 100 gold to get rid of this guy? If we have 100 gold, we can get rid of this guy. And
Well, this guy wants his head. He wants the gold and he wants his head, right?
No, he just wants the gold. He was negotiating.
he just
for-
wants, yeah, he wants this guy dead
Does
and
everybody
he
have
wants
25
the
gold?
I think I have like 5.
We got a platinum or 2 among us. Come on.
I was gonna take the gold off of Laird.
I know somebody else has been given money throughout, but I haven't.
I loot the purple dragons. Do they have? You know what? And I had that previous wallet from the tavern.
From the merchants, yeah.
That from the
Remember
gameless.
He stole
I've
my
got
money from
96
people that I was gambling
money
with.
from just grabbing random shit when I was bored.
Not all of us are the thieves.
I know, so I but all your dumbasses owe me. Somebody
I
pick
Like,
you
I
four.
need so much, and I
You know,
have
okay,
nothing.
I can Doc,
This is
I'll
like a
take-
great anime, I tell you right now.
Resden, how much do you have? I don't think that. Do you know how you
Okay.
have? You don't have any?
So I know how much I have in the. So I checked that wallet from the gambling. You know, from the guys that were gambling. How
That's-
much was the guys that were?
Did I tell you at the time?
No, you did not. And they had all Victor's money.
Well, they had like a couple gold extra, yeah. So in there was 5 gold, 19 silver, 17 copper, and 5 platinum.
Right, so what I'm picturing is I walk up with 95 gold, and then Resnick comes out of nowhere and literally starts like counting out like 5 copper, 3 silver, 4 this. He takes out like 2 pieces of copper, random pieces that came off of his fucking music box.
So I throw in 18 gold,
There you go.
right? Take the other stuff and a bunch of copper. I throw a bunch of copper in there too. 'Cause I know
The half troll just leaves his hand outstretched as you guys throw shit into it, and it shows like at a weird 3/4 oblong view, fisheye style, of you guys just throwing shit in this troll's hand as the goblin stands next to him, and he's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 31, 36, 33. Like an autistic, just watching it, counting off each, not to offend anybody. It's, you know, what it is.
But, and then I go, oh, that's too much. And I go to
As you do this, he like
because I know he's gonna try and.
he just pulls his grasp closed, and he's got these massive Wolverine claws. I mean, really. Point being though, is whatever fuckery takes place, whatever shenanigans, he gives a toothy grin and tells you to back off meat flesh, or I'll bite off your head, that sort of thing. You know, he says it with a grin though, as he's getting paid and he's happy about that. And as you finish off piling the gold in your as you finish piling the gold off in his hand, and bric-a-brac there, he looks down towards the goblins standing around him, and he says, "Are we satisfied?" And he looks towards you, and the goblins look up, actually, and they say, "But what about all the dead? What about my wife?" And the troll looks down and regards him for a moment and looks back towards you and says, "Ah, yeah, taxes on bodies. That's a thing, isn't it?" And he looks over towards Laram as he yells this, and
Well,
Laramus, "Ah,
I'll make you a deal. I'll
That's
make you a deal. We owe the head to somebody. You can have the body when we're done getting the information.
He gives a nod at this, and looking towards the goblins, they give a nod back, and he says, "That's a retribution. That's revenge."
So Dooley,
Yeah.
I take 5 silver pieces
Okay.
and I make them glow and sparkle. That's
All right.
kind of right? Because I can put a glamour on any object, and I'm like, here's for retribution. You know, here's for your wife.
You hand it off to the goblin as the goblin suddenly his eyes sparkle with the glow of the thing coming towards him, and he regards this for a moment and gives a nod, satisfied, and takes it and holds it aloft. "It's like I hold her spirit," and he puts it away upon himself and he tucks it into his belt. And actually, you know what? He swallows it. Fucking full, or maybe shoves it up his nostril. I don't know. One or the other. Whatever's appropriate. You use your imagination. He stores it on himself somewhere biologically. And fucks off soon after, satisfied. And the troll, half troll, looks towards you and gives a satisfied nod at this. And as he pockets the change and bric-a-brac that you've put in his palm with a rattle of metal, he regards you guys for a moment, and he says, "Supposing we'll be on our way then." And he looks back towards Laramus and says, "As far as his head, this one can wait for it." And he points down towards one of the minions nearby, and that one.
If you want his head, then you'll have to talk to Valentio.
The one looks up and says, I'm good, sir. I'm good. If all are good, I'm good with glowy rocks." And he rushes off past you guys as the troll looks back towards and looks towards the half-orc down next to him. And the half-orc looks up and, with a grimace and a nod, says, "Bossman's got dibs on the head, so he says. You can argue with him if you want." And the half-troll looks down and says, "You bring work, we work again." And he kind of raises a hand and then puts a finger out. And the orc looks towards it and grabs the finger and gives it a shake. "I'll let the boss know." And the troll turns around and ka-dunk, steps over some brush and walks off past the camera, satisfied. The goblins begin to disperse a moment later, stepping away, one after the next, following in behind.
That's about it. So, Laramus, how you doing?
I've been better.
What have you sent us to die.
You fucking traitor.
I thought maybe you had the stones to do what was necessary. Maybe even pay you a little something if you had it done. I said to myself, guessing I should have put a bit more thought into it. So the enemy of my enemy, but it turns out you made friends with my enemy, so where does that leave us? And he holds his leg further, just in absolute agony. And he tries to get up on it. He's not going anywhere.
Kick him back down and step on his
And he falls over,
fucking money.
just landing down into the ground.
How much is his head worth?
As he looks up from the dirt and looks towards you, the camera shows down from the side of his head as he says, "You want the money?" And he spits out a bunch of blood. "You want the money?" Everybody wants the money, and he actually just stretches out on the dirt, hefts himself up again into a sitting position. In the armor, he's obviously got little mobility, and with his bones bruised and possibly a few ribs swimming around underneath, he doesn't seem in good shape for mobility at all. As he looks up towards you, though, he says, "You're gonna have a tough time taking the money."
Fucking talk. And I'm gonna start jiggling around the axe.
Why would a marshal like yourself steal that much money? What need do you have for 10,000 platinum?
He looks up towards you and says, "I don't have any need, you bloody idiot." And he wavers for a moment on the edge of unconsciousness, and he
I do acid splash right in his face.
oh my god.
You're gonna kill him, man. Stabilize him. You know what? Boom, right in his face.
You're gonna finish him. I'm telling you, you're gonna kill him.
We got your information.
I do it next to his face then.
Alright. As you imagine blasting acid into his face, exploding it, sending his flesh careening off of his skull with a point-blank eruption of caustic fluid, you think better of it, and instead explode a geyser of shite right next to his fucking head. As you come in with a threatening intimidation roll at advantage,
I got a 14 and an 11.
okay, with an 14 then, plus your, I don't know what you have for charisma bonus,
Charisma.
Mine was one, I'm pretty sure.
I don't have a charisma bonus.
then fair enough. He roll shit. What do you want? I don't have the fucking money. This.
Then where is it?
As the camera pans against you guys, and he looks over towards you with the wild eyes and his ears slightly singed from a splash of acid, he says, "Long gone, taken away." Hello, Mishka. What's up?
I see everything. I already
I cut
These
the
are
leather
fine.
straps off his armor.
No! That's mine! You can't have it! Alright, you going to bed?
No.
Yes. Give me that! You got greedy and I got it back. Now get out of my garage! Sneaky, sneaky. But I've got Richie. Oh, Kung Fu. Alright, I'll be right back. How's the room to go?
So when my kids were that age and little, I used to pull up armpit worms. I would like put my index fingers in my armpits and I'd be like, "Armpit worms," and then like go and tickle them. And then I'd put them back.
That's
And then,
unique. I'll give you that.
And then it's great, kids love it. Seriously. And then the other one I used to do, because my youngest used to never wear underwear, we had to do the bum biting birdies. So we'd like chase her and she'd go and put on underwear because she would basically never wear underwear.
Yeah, dude, we've got a family in nudists. Like, literally, my kids randomly in the middle of the day will show up at my door at my office. Be like, "Hi, Dad," completely buck naked. I mean,
Oh.
they're 4 and 6, and they just don't give a shit.
Yeah, mine was 4.
It's about that age, right? It's where it's like right in that sweet spot of, yeah, clothes, no clothes, what do I give a shit? Like, today it was raining out, and they're like, "I'm gonna go outside in like rain boots and just fuck shit up." Like, all right, have fun.
Enjoy it while you can, because then they just cost you a ton of money in university.
They're already costing me money. I can't. I would love to say that I was like out of paying for like preschool and kindergarten, but with the shit that just happened, I'm like feel like I'm paying the double.
As we were, sorry. Where were we anyhow?
He was saying the money was long gone.
Oh yeah. Sorry, and what did you? Somebody just asked him a thing though.
No, Resman cut the straps of his leather
That's
armor.
right. That's what it was. Throw me an attack roll, because it is an exacting strike.
And don't miss.
Yeah, no shit.
Should be pretty good with this one.
I got some heals on this thing, so. That's why I
Never
didn't
mind.
use any
Never
spells.
mind. Spare the dying. All right, as you do that.
Well, if we take a short rest, I can heal. I can
13. Oh, he's gone.
What'd you roll? At least don't leave us all in anticipation.
13.
That's not bad.
I didn't fumble. I would have.
I mean, I don't know what Laramus was into, but obviously he shit the bed pretty bad for somebody in. Oh, that's how much cooking you got going on there. How much longer are we playing this game?
I've been drinking these all night. Anyway, as you were.
13, Dooley.
And that's for snipping off the shoulder pauldron, or
It's just cutting some straps so that way his I'm moving in and I'm sliding it in and I'm cutting the strap.
yeah, I get all that. I'm asking specifically which strap. His belt, his thigh, his greave holding strap, his shoulder pauldron, his armor,
His jerkin.
his jerkin. Okay, so there's 4 straps to the jerkin. Actually, sorry, I'll say there's 3 straps. There's one for his shoulder, and then there's his belt at the back. So you want to snip which one? His shoulder?
Well, go for the belt.
Alright, sounds good. You do so. Slipping the blade against his body. He's too weak to do anything. As you easily slip it in and pull it apart.
Laramus, where did the money go then? It must have went somewhere if it's long gone.
It is long gone. Of course it's long gone. He gives a nod, and as you snip his armor away, he gives one of these and says, "Can I maintain my fucking dignity, Sums?"
No, that is long gone already, concerned like the money. So tell us, who are you working for then? Where would it be going?
He just keeps thinking about it, and he's like, it's like he wants to say something, but he doesn't. As he stares ahead for a moment longer than you feel comfortable,
So what can we take from him that won't kill him? An ear? An eyebrow?
you wouldn't know who they are.
Try me.
They would if you told us.
Have you ever heard of the Iron Throne? He just gives a shrug of the shoulders.
Have I heard of that as a bird?
Have any of us heard of it?
History
As a
roll.
bard, you may throw me a history at advantage. Everybody else can throw me a history. I need a 17 or better.
Ooh, I got a
Alright.
16.
I got a
I got
nat-
a 12.
I got a natural 20.
Yeah.
Shut the front door, you did. And the bard got over. All right, terrific. So, I'm going to inject upon your history there, my dear barbarian. Your nat 20 has lent you to have these guys in your history. You worked once upon a time, you think, for what was called the Hand. And yourself, Mr. Bard, you have heard of the hand, foot, and eye of the Iron Throne. In Cormyrean lore, many a song has been sung about those in the background pulling the strings, and this particular title of the Iron Throne is one that not too many people would utter with any sincerity. Mostly it's like, the Illuminati. Oh, the Illuminati are going to get you, that sort of thing. But this guy's just invoked that sort of level of mystical organization, if you will. The Iron Throne. with the hand that moves the pawns, the eye that sees the pawns, the foot that moves the pawns, with the hand that, the foot that moves the pawns, with the hand that stabs the pawns. Was where I was going with that.
All right,
Fuck
so
that up.
whoever rolled the lowest probably thinking that he's talking about like hook and mouth disease. Where is
Yeah, I'll take that. Sure.
where is Theros in all this? Has he come over to us or?
He's still been sitting back, but as the trolls leave, I will say he walks forward, and this goblin sticks with him.
All right.
He walks in with him.
I'm gonna go look for the horses.
All right, that sounds fine. It doesn't take you long. You actually just follow along this mountain trail for a half moment, and you find them just around the bend. They're all tied up next to a tree. They've actually got a bucket of water set out.
If it's a Cormyrean tale, so I know like the city is in what city would that be? Yeah.
Sorry. So it's a Cormyrean tale that's spread around, but you've never heard of a direct headquarters for this all. But what you do know is that each of these roles, the hand, the foot, the eye, they're supposed to be an individual. Supposedly, just each of a triad, each of a triage, each of a triangle.
Is this
When I worked for the hand,
So as I was saying,
uh,
once upon a time, you carried out a job that you found out later might have been for the hand. Your job in question was as collections, but not for gold, for resources. Everything went peaceably, for the most part, but you didn't catch it at first how tense everything was. You didn't think too much of it, but you moved in on a village and you ended up taking a bunch of lumber that somebody had told you was for arrows. And so when you showed up there, they had a slight protest for a brief moment. You were accompanying another fellow who also was on the job, but you didn't know his name, and he didn't know yours. And that was kind of the point of it, which made things easy. You were talked to by some guy in a bar who apparently had recruited the both of you and told you to meet at a point. And so you did, but you'd never met before. And when you arrived there, you knew exactly what you had to do because the guy had already said, you'll meet another fellow there, and you'll go do this. And the other fellow arrived with a piece of parchment that was all folded up, and he was just supposed to hand it to the villager. And that's what happened. And they had a cart ready to go for you guys. And you drove it back. And that was it. And you guys got paid 50 gold that you divided between the two of you. So 25 gold apiece in ancient history. So that money's long spent. And it was a good time spending it too. That was so long ago now.
Speaking of gold, if we haven't looted the bodies yet, I'm kind of busy at this point while this conversation is going on.
Just to establish, as you look down upon them, their armor is a half plate, purple dragon half plate. These guys are geared up in. Scale mail. I'll say it's scale mail in this case, for the armor class that they were riding.
okay? Stand by.
And then that's a 15. Scale mail of 15.
Now, it's been a long time. Is that going to be beneficial for a road, or is that going to be climbing around like something?
No, rogue can't wear a scale.
Yeah, you can't. No, it's.
Okay, cool.
Standard leather armor is like what you want.
With that said, though, yeah. So they've got a scale mail armor going. Sorry.
I bring the horses back and start like going through their pack.
That's fine. Yeah. So as this occurs, you're going over what gear they have, and each of them is carrying a knight's dagger and a secondary short sword, as well as their long sword or scabbard thereby if they don't still have their sword.
I'm using investigation, by the way,
To go through the packs?
yeah.
That and eagerness, if you want to roll your investigation, but your eagerness is already a nat 20. As you make your way through the packs, digging as you might.
I'm looking for like. I'm wondering if he brings ledgers and notes and stuff.
Okay, that's fair.
18 plus 7, so 25.
Okay, it doesn't take long before you come up with 100 gold in a sack or rather 10 platinum, I should say. You come out with 10 platinum, and a flagon of some mead. It looks like a thin fluted top with a cork ending it and a bulbous bottom.
Okay, I'm looking for like notes that would help.
You see nothing else. There's a bunch of bolts and a crossbow in one of the other saddlebags.
Okay. I don't take like the money and stuff. Is
Okay.
army money. I don't scoop it.
Oh, okay. What do you do with it?
Like
Every time.
I bring the horses back and
Yeah.
then like start dumping his stuff where everybody can see it.
That's fine.
Doc can
Okay.
have that.
I mean, I'm grabbing at least my 100 back from what I put out. I mean, I'm not looking for more than what my
Yeah,
share.
Doc can take the money then, because you put in 100, didn't you, basically?
96.
Okay, then we get 96, and then we have 4 gold left over to whoever. I go back
Doc
to
just gets it.
yeah, because he stayed there.
No, that's
I
what
go
I'm saying.
back-
The extra 4, he just gets those.
Okay, sure. I go back to Veramis. I say, okay, so then where was the drop off point of the money then? It was collected already. Where did you leave it?
He looks towards you and says, "It was picked up in Arabelle a bit ago. It's long gone."
Where was it headed?
He doesn't know.
You wouldn't know.
So where in
I wouldn't.
Arabelle did you put it?
Well, I'll make it easier. If you have no information for us, I'm not planning on carrying your whole body back to hand over. So you can give us information and maybe make the ride with us, or you can make our lives easier and we'll just take your head back.
He gives a shake of his head and
Ferris, how do
says,
you feel?
"My head won't get you anything. You'll be marked as criminals. Simple.
Ferris?
However, rather than, if you'll hear me out, rather than kill me and leave me, as you have, my friends, I can buy you out. I'll give you, let's say, half of what I received as my skiff." He kind of looks around at this as he realizes the words that are coming out of his face.
Quick question: what type of blade was he wielding during the fight?
It's a long sword. It's ornate. Looks nice. But it's very purple dragon. I want to say it's got a purple pommel stone. You want to say it's an amethyst, but it doesn't look like it's real.
Well, we wouldn't be marked as criminals because when we found you, you were attacked by goblins, and we couldn't stop him because Saberfang was so strong. And then he was being partnered with the Red Sash, who took your body. So there's nothing that we could do. We had to run away to save our own skin. It's about preservation.
He gives
Never been here because there are no other survivors.
He gives a nod at all this and simply says, What do you want?"
Well, I want to know if you're the only. I know Ferric is a bad person, and I know that you're a bad
Tharic's got nothing to do with this. You leave him out of this.
So you're the only one in the purple dragon that is corrupt. Am I correct?
Not fucking corrupt! He steps back from you. I was an honorable man! This wasn't supposed to be like this. Bloody fucking idiot! You He gives a shake of his head. You killed all of this. Why? You greedy bastards. You just, for money.
You sent us to die, my friend.
I was doing what I had to. I had no choice. I didn't know what else to fucking do.
Instead of having this conversation,
Yeah,
instead of having a conversation with him,
yeah.
Darius, listen. What do you want to do with this? You guys want to get a piece of whatever he's offering, or should we, for lack of a better term, cut bait and get moving here? Because obviously neither of us are fulfilled in what we want. his head is still attached to his body, so technically we still have to fulfill this. But what are we doing?
Time slows down as everybody looks at one another. The wind breezing through the trees in your hair. Your heart's beating behind your armors.
If we can't get the platinum.
Well, I mean, if Theris is willing to go along with us, then we're not in a foul yet. The problem is that if we try and just take Laramis alone, then we run afoul of the other end of this. So it's.
Well, we know where to go to get clues. We have to go to Arabelle if you want to find him. So technically, Laramis has.
Clues are great. Having a key is good. A little bit better. Like having him to be there. Maybe better. I mean, look at what it got us out of with the half troll. Just saying, like dragging him along. Now we've traded having Theris playing as a prisoner. Now we actually have a prisoner.
Yes, but you forget that I can be him if I wanted to be. Well, I feel like
Victor, chop off his head and let's get our 100 gold and make it easy. I'm just. You have a choice. We could work with Theris and we could take him along with us and try and get the 10 platinum and have a little have a key to get in the door. Or we lop off his head, Theris takes him back, we get our 100 gold, and then we have the bottom half to go carry with us or leave behind while we go try and find the platinum.
Well, we can still go raid his office.
we can read his office. We can. I have no qualms on having. How about we just instead of us killing him, can we just hand him over live? It doesn't matter if he's alive or dead. I don't think so.
You didn't want to see him. You didn't even want to see his head. You just wanted to know that he was dead.
Yeah. So it doesn't really.
So
Well, hand him over to Theris.
Well, Theris is here.
Theris, what do you want?
He crosses his arms and looks you guys over from where he's standing. He kind of just, I mean, he's grinning as he stands there listening to you guys going back and forth, and with his fangs out, continues to just stare for a moment. Then he looks down at the goblin unexpectedly. The goblin kind of just jolts and looks up towards him. Then he looks back towards him again. Then he looks back towards Theramis, and Theramis is sitting there sweating bullets the whole fucking time. His armor's situated such against his belly that it's angled out awkwardly with his armor dented all over, his visor up as he's bleeding from the face still. His armor awkwardly cut and ugly, and his thigh still smashed in as he's standing contrapposto, trying his best to maintain balance. His blood flow seems to be a problem throughout his entire body.
Hey, Victor, at what point are you going to get tired of this and just bash him on the head and finish the thing?
let him stand up. Someone give him a sword. He can die with honor.
Well, I'm
gonna give him a sword.
Did he give him his sword?
Yeah, I'm giving him his sword, and as soon as he stands up, I'm gonna chop his head off.
He looks towards you for a moment, and then he just takes it.
And I'm gonna swing to hit.
You do so. Swing, bada, bada, bada.
And I rolled a total of 17 to hit.
Just hits him.
I did a reckless attack because I missed on the first one. With a total of 7 plus. Oh, I'm not.
Do you know what?
7 damage.
I'm gonna be a dick.
Okay.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
He took the dodge action, so your first miss is your miss.
Okay.
But you can keep your reckless attack.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep the reckless attack with a 17 to hit, and then it's total of.
No, the first one, the miss that you had to re-roll because
Yeah.
of your reckless attack.
Yeah, so it's just you went reckless, but you took a dodge action, so it's just a single roll. So your first roll is what you would. The first roll you did was your roll for that.
This is that part where we talk about people not throwing the code, or what did I say before? Not one to worry about order of operations. As long as people don't flip it on me, I won't flip it on you. But maybe I will.
Cure wounds on Doc in case this goes bad.
I'm confused. You want me to roll the hit again?
So my point being, you rolled the first time. That was a miss. So you declared that you're re-rolling with your rage, or your reckless attack, because of your miss. And what I'm saying is he had the dodge action, so you wouldn't gain the advantage, because he would otherwise be incurring disadvantage. Hence, your first roll, which missed, is the roll you can stay with.
So you missed, and then what does Laramus do in reaction to that?
Laramus ducks under the blade, brings the blade around to cleave upon you. Rolling a 18 plus bonus. As it lands against you with 4 plus 2 for 6 points of blade into your flesh. He cleaves against your furred armor, crushing against your shoulder. Are you still raging? Probably not. So that's going to be full damage. As he cleaves upon you for 6 damage, he faces off. I don't know if anybody else is getting involved. If not, it's directly back over to Victor.
No, I'll just turn my back and say, I am not going to jail for this, and then I just turn my back.
Okay. So I go and use my other rage, so I'm raging now.
The camera pans against you, turning your back against the situation, and slowly walking away. As in the background, Victor throws a 10.
What? No, I didn't.
I healed.
I didn't roll
Sorry,
it.
no. I healed.
Oh, you
Doc.
healed for 10. Okay, Victor, you get to roll your attack.
Okay. I rolled a total of 18 to hit,
That's fine. That hits him.
and 10 plus 3 plus 2 is 15 damage.
Once his last hurrah is concluded, Victor idly ends him. Careening against his armor around the neck region, his head falls off, kind of like the front of that boat. It just fell off. As you slash through the thing, everything slows down in the end of the swing as his head separates and slowly lolls off, rolling through the air as the streamer of geysering blood spins end over end. You watch overhead as a flutter of ravens leaves the trees in the moment, all cawing as they rush away, one after the next, angrily protesting your violence. As the camera focuses upon your faces, one after the next, showing each an expression of Aldous. What's the expression on Aldous' face? You're muted. What do you got?
I'm just staring, just blankly staring.
As the geyser of blood sails away, what does Tomas, who's walking away, think to himself?
Say, we could have gotten more information.
Resvin, as you see the geyser of blood spiraling through the air, the head lolling end over end, what do you think? What's on your face?
I need to push the body away so it sprays in the other direction.
You're well and away. You're safe. You're a safe distance. You're all the way over there. You're safe.
You know what? Let's hit his office. We weren't getting any more information from him, so I'm like.
Giving a shrug in the background. That's fair. And finally, Doc Lucian, here you are.
I'm gonna grab the head by its hair and turn to Theris and go, so 100?
As you walk in close and pick it up off the ground, it dribbles a bit, gore seeping out of its neck and holding it aloft. He gives a grin and says, "So it was said. Let's get back. I need to breathe."
Wait. Should we go to Weymouth to search his office? Yeah.
I would like to walk up to Doc, tap him on the shoulder, and say, "Hey, check out this trick," and cast Mage Armor on him, which will
Okay.
give him 13 plus his Dexterity for his AC for the next 8 hours.
All right.
So
you do that?
16 artificially.
Actually, can I stage the bodies to look like they were attacked by like look like they were taken out by Saberfang and stuff like that?
Yeah. I'll let you roll.
What would that be?
That would typically be a survival check, but a deception check as well. So, with that said, roll me survival.
That's 16 plus 2, so 18.
Looking over the scene, you give yourself a momentary picture in your head of what a battle would look like. And looking at the footprints and whatnot of the troll and his coterie, you think to yourself, we have to carry the bodies over there, next to where the other footprints are.
Before he does, I'm gonna check all their weapons
Okay.
with an Arcana check. I want to see if any of them are magical.
No, but
If
looking
I-
upon their edges, they all seem to have a very nice hammered, fine edge to them.
I was gonna say, if I could just take 10 minutes, I could ritual cast Detect Magic and do that.
I mean, you could. They don't. Nothing looks magical from the outset. Nothing's got any.
And also, the only person that can use a longsword here is Victor. I think. And I.
That might
I
be
can use a
true.
longsword, but I like my rapier, so. But they have a nice edge to it.
I mean, they look ornate.
Ornate. Okay. I'll grab a lot. I'll grab. No, I won't, because that's evidence. I don't want to be linked to it, so I'm not.
It's not like these guys dust for fingerprints or anything.
Yeah, no, but I would have like people would notice that might notice that I have.
It's a nice sword. It's recognizable.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm not gonna do it.
Good man. Good man.
I say because this is my background. My background is talking here, and I'll say, okay, so this is what we do. We're gonna stage this to look like Saberfang killed them. Okay, so then we have no connection to them.
I popped the
There's no
jewel
witnesses-
from the pommel.
There's no witnesses except for Ferris, but I don't think Ferris is gonna rat us out.
Okay. In the background, Resvin pops the purple gem out of the hilt of the blade. Or the pommel of the blade.
Can I start looting him for some gold if he has any?
You look the bodies over, and they don't have anything on them. The only gold that these guys seem to have is the 100 gold sitting in the saddlebags that Resvin pulled and clattered on the ground.
So DM, do you want me to make a deception check to?
Yes, I do. And this
Okay,
is,
cool.
it is a 16 or better as you are directing your crewmates. Each of your crewmates can make this check, and if they get 16 or better, then they are following orders well.
That's a 19 for deception.
Oh, okay,
It's an
fantastic.
18 plus 3. I've got a 21.
Terrific.
I get a total of 20.
Awesome.
I got a 2.
Okay. It's not going to make any difference. Each fail was going to subtract 1 from his, from Tomas's roll, but it's all good. He's well enrolled high. That said,
I got a 6 plus 0.
it's fine. And -2 is not going to affect it. What did you roll? Tomas rolled like 22?
I rolled a 19.
Okay, yeah, you're still good. Yes.
Yeah.
I would say anyhow. Despite dropping some of the bodies as Resvin and Aldous do their best, the gnome and elf just seem to have trouble picking up and carrying bodies around. But, you know, they try. Then that's the important thing. Be
picture
part of
them
the
having
team.
Fun, like they're making one pick the other one's nose. Like, no, guys, that's not what we do. Like, no, it's not how we post them. Like battle scans is not friends picking noses.
Oh my god.
Staging a crime scene, everyone.
You guys set up the bodies, as it were. It looks after a moment, you're kind of like, I'm an artist. What can I say? You know. From there, you step back, satisfied with the scene. Look upon your companions. They look at you, see that you're happy. Everyone's happy. Thumbs up all around. As the camera pans backwards, showing the lot of you in the scene having set it up such that it looks like the trolls killed all of them. What do you do, sorry?
So, do we go to Weymouth now? Or do we go back to... We're only 2 hours away from, we're directly in the halfway point between Weymouth.
So what do we want to do with the horses?
Actually, you're about a quarter of the path away from Weymouth at this point.
Oh, we are? Okay.
You're
So I mean, the question is just asking Theric or Theris?
Theris. Thuric is the marshal. This is Theris, the half orc.
Theris, what are you gonna do here? Are you gonna take him back and we'll come visit you when we made some headway on our end, or?
He's stuffing a head in a bag and draws the string, and is starting to walk over towards his horse as you finish your statement and are walking in towards him. Camera panning over your shoulder, and he looks down at you as he says, "Well, my man, we'll take this back." Finishes tying it, and you'll show up to collect payment when you're due and ready. It'll be waiting for you. Valiant's an honorable fella, and you yourself seem a collector after a fashion, right? Hunters be that you are, hunting your pay. Will not stiff you. You done great. Grand, in fact. And he pats the sack as it starts to seep a bit of gore. And he says, "Hey, best get this back while it's fresh. Are you needing anything from me, little man?"
Did Theris twitch when he mentioned Iron Throne or anything like that? Did Theris recognize that at all?
Honestly, no.
Okay, perfect. So technically, the money is up for grabs. They volunteer. Like if we get the money,
I don't see it up for grabs. I think it's ours.
No, but like they don't know where the fuck it is. So like if we find it, we're not sharing.
No. I mean, I agree, but I think at this point that we ride back into town as the not triumphant, but as the beaten heroes who tried to save Laramis. And from that, we happened upon him as we were coming back after this fight out in this other town, and we tried to save him, and we couldn't, and now we're back, and we need to find out why these people were after him, and we need to get into his office.
Or I can just I have 2 spell slots, so I can disguise myself. Can I fly? Does Laramis have his keys on him, and like any of like all his like any of his office stuff like on him at all?
No, he wouldn't have anything like that.
Okay.
You know what?
Both Ther.
You search him over, and you do find that he keeps a pair of keys around his neck.
Okay, I'll grab those.
You do so.
Signet ring?
He does, as a matter of fact. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, he does still have that. I meant to mention that when he took his fucking glove off. That was the whole point. Sorry. So as I was saying, good catch, is he does have a ring on his finger as well. It is a purple dragon marshal's ring, is quite simply it.
I say do not. If you're gonna touch or bring anything off these bodies, do not touch anything that's recognizable, because
Resvin looks at you while he's holding a fucking glove and a hand.
Resvin, do not bring those signet rings. It's not worth it. We cannot.
Chopping off the head, and you're like, what? Use this?
It's not worth it.
Theramute, or whatever his name is, left, right?
Theris is leading with the head and the bag full of blood, yes.
And he's going to who?
He's going back up to return the head to...
Valiantur.
Yeah.
Boris Valiantur.
Okay, Valiantur. I can message Valiantur now and tell him...
No, you can't. It's 120 feet, my friend.
I can message... Messages...
Message is 120 feet. It's 120 feet.
It's shortwave. Or not even shortwave, sorry.
Yeah,
It's,
you need sending. That's what you need.
Yeah. Sending is your shortwave radio.
Message is like walkie-talkie.
There you go. That's what I kept trying to think. Walkie-talkie. Thank you.
Running CB, alright.
If you guys are worried, I can go with Theris.
No, it's fine. No.
I
Yeah, you guys should split the party. It's been a while since...
Honor among thieves. I think we make it back to Weymouth.
Well, we have to clean up a little bit because Victor is covered in blood.
He's always covered in blood.
True.
Yes,
This is not new.
that's how I feel at home.
It could be orc blood. It could be somebody else's blood that got sprayed on him. It could be somebody else's blood that got sprayed on him because he did it.
So
I'm also bleeding pretty terribly too. I got hit pretty
So
hard.
I have keys. Well, I found keys on Leonis, so we can go to his. I can sky self ask him, and then go to his office, and then I can search it.
You're going to disguise yourself as Cyrus?
I know his voice. I know.
Possible to ritually cast cure wound.
Nope. We can take a short. If you want to take a short rest, we can take a short rest.
Yeah, if I can take a short rest, I can get a spell slot back.
I mean, we're not expecting to fight once we get to Wayne, so.
Yeah, it's only like what 3 o'clock right now, so we can take an hour rest.
Okay, so if I do that, I can get a spell slot back, and then I can cast cure wounds on him.
Well, yeah. Well, if we take a short rest, we don't. They can roll hit dice to heal up.
Yeah, short rest doesn't bring you back.
Yeah, I know. For him, that's for
It does
wizards.
for me. Yeah.
For wizards, for arcane recovery. Yeah. But also, I can. If we take a short rest, I can do a song of rest as well. So then you guys can roll an extra hit dice, extra d6 hit dice. With it, if you want, doesn't matter.
I didn't lose any health, so I'm not.
I'm
worried.
only down by 1 now because Rez.
But I will take that spell slot if we want to rest.
Okay, then yeah, we can rest. We would probably if you want, we'll take it. So we'll take a short rest.
Well, you know what? We'll go down to the stream. We'll go down to the
Right
stream.
next to
Wash up.
bodies.
Oh, I'm trying to hear Rez.
I said, let's go down to the stream, wash up, and short rest.
Okay.
Let's go away from here and short rest.
Okay. Can I do a perception check to see, like, just to make sure that nobody was around at all? Like, there was no witnesses except for us.
You may.
Patrol. That's a
you
natural
probably-
19 plus a 3, so it's a 22.
You hunt around the area diligently, but don't find anything other than a deer and 3 rabbits in a weird triage that you don't want to see.
Okay.
Didn't expect to
Take the
see.
goblin ears.
Yeah, we can take the goblin ears. If you want it, we can take goblin ears to get. They're only 2 silver.
But is that going to kind of give more evidence against
2
us?
silver is 2 silver. But
No,
yes,
Yeah.
smart thinking. Well done.
Well, it doesn't really matter. So I say, if you want the goblin ears, is like.
I'm
you
not
can say-
doing it. I'm just asking you. Hey, you
No.
take goblin ears.
No, we're going to get 10,000. We're going to get 10,000 platinum. I think that's more.
I don't think risking having evidence on us is worth the 2 silver.
Yeah. So
As the rogue that
yeah.
carries random shit that I stole, yes.
So yeah. So after we go to Weymouth, we search his office, try to find as much information. We're heading to Arabella to find this drop-off point. They're looking for the Iron Throne, which is a weird secret society that I've heard in passing, and it's kind of shady. So it's
It
like a
suddenly
little-
hits you out of the blue. You read about how did that rhyme go? Power control, they charge the toll, storing it away, interest, ho, and then it hits you, they're bankers. It's a banking cartel.
Okay. So we're dealing with people who love money, so it's
We can go
banking.
talk to that banker. He's still alive.
Well,
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know. We'll see if Rod. You think that's another question that I really wanted to ask my before you.
Is Roderick still alive?
Yeah. So I guess we're going to Weymouth.
We were going to Weymouth anyway.
Well, that's
As you
another
guys
reason
say
why
this
we-
to one another, the guys in the background, Resvin hopping up on his horse, Victor leading his horse over and giving it reassurance that he's going to be gentle as he mounts upon. One after the next, Aldous rides past the frame with the rest in tow as you guys head off towards Weymouth, in the hopes that Roderick is still alive and you have yet a lead, perhaps, in this mystery of where 10,000 platinum has gone. And the camera fades black, and that's it. Hey, Sammy, would you like what you have as a released?
Who?
Sammy.
Sam.
Really enjoyed the combat. I thought it was funny how I had to kind of improvise and it didn't really work out, so I just that worked for me.
Barbarian smash.
Once again, love the combat, love your setup.
I can do this.
Especially with this new setup on Zoom, it's really working out pretty fucking solid.
It's fabulous. I may keep doing remote just because this is nice, honestly. Although this part sucks, and I do miss having company. It's nice too.
Yeah.
Probably cheaper on your food supply.
Not even almost. I'm the only one who ever drinks or smokes, for that matter. I'm like lonesome intoxication man. It is what it is.
I gave up smoking when they were like, hey, respiratory disease, and it's in your neighborhood. I was like, I probably should stop. Like that's what stopped me. Like, literally, it took years for me to be like, you know what, I probably should just, like, not do this.
Meanwhile, here I'm like, social distancing, man. What do you think of it?
And I will admit I got my jealousy, but the good news is I've got plenty of gummies to get me through.
And that's good too. Let's face it, gummies soothes the soul. Sorry, yeah. So Sammy, you like the combat? What'd you not like? Pointed question. Hua!
For this one, there wasn't really much to not like. If you really love the combat, the story.
Dice. You don't
There you go. Yeah. There was times.
Actually, I was rolling pretty good this
No,
time.
you were actually. Come to think of it.
Yeah. Well, like this new dice set. I'm sure.
How are you liking the digital dice? Good, bad?
Like I said, there's not much. There's actually nothing that I didn't like about the session. It was,
Fair enough.
Pretty sick.
Ting, would you like what James would like least?
Yeah, I'm really loving the setup. Like, it's pretty crystal clear, and like the music and like everything that's going on is like top notch.
If not too loud now, eh? Wow,
Yeah,
it's awesome.
it's like that's the only thing is like it's a little loud, but like I just should turn my volume down. But there's like really nothing I can complain about. Like, I'm really loving the story and figuring out what the hell we're gonna do, and trying to figure out everybody's motivations and stuff like that. Great.
Cool. Ricky, would you like what James would like least?
Definitely like the Zoom. I didn't think I would, but I definitely like that.
It's fucking exceptional. Holy shit. After everything else we tried. Everything! We tried everything!
Yeah.
Everything! Doc Giff. Anyway.
No, it's just trying to get the right skills when you're low level. Like,
Yeah, level 2.
everything's trade-offs, right? So, yeah.
Right on. Derek, would you like what James would like least? Shit. Sean. No, not. Sorry?
Sean or Justin?
Justin. Fuck, not Derek. Justin. Sorry. How you doing, Justin?
So I liked the Zoom, but I'd like that on Tuesday. I noticed that.
Yeah, man.
And then kind of to piggyback off of what Resident said, just the like, I wanted to sleep that guy, and he had just slept him, and it was like I was the wizard following the wizard, and I think he's been in that position before too, which sucks. And, so we just need to kind of like become our own things already, level 2. Everything was good. The only part that I really didn't like was,
For sure.
everybody makes those dexterity saves.
Yeah. At low level, there's only so many options, and yet we have all the source books, but there's only so many options still at level 2. Go figure. And Sean, would you like what James would least?
I mean, I think that the setup was great. I think using Zoom was fantastic. I think the dice, contrary to my two-handed complete fucking fail, was fantastic. It makes my life a lot easier for a guy that hasn't been in a long time. And I think it's great that everyone's really playing their role. Resvin's been fantastic the whole time. Tomas has done, really up front. Victor really dug into his character. I don't know what I'm saying. Kill things. Fantastic. Aldous hanging up in the corner. I think stick and move kind of thing instead of just standing there and getting whacked in the fucking head. Would probably be a better idea for my character.
Yeah, had I known you had such a low AC, I would have done that to you earlier too. But I was at the end of the battle. It's like, oh, I have a 13 AC. I was like, mine starts you out with a 13, and then you still get your Dex modifier.
Damn.
I was like, man, I need to just run up and be like, hey, here.
The strange thing is, I actually have for as a dwarf award, I have Mage Armor and I have Alert sitting in the wings. I just haven't done anything yet. But yeah, so it's been really good to really enjoy this and really start to get into it. I think it's awesome. I think it's a lot of fun, and the different layers of what we can do, and the cross concepts of. Should we have maybe dragged them along? Should we really keep pussyfooting around with this? And should we just like go ransack his office and hand the head over kind of thing? And no, I think it's been great. I think we run a hell of a game, and I think the guys are awesome.
It's very good seeing this onion. There's just so many layers. You peel one back, you peel one back. There's always a new layer underneath. So like.
Oh, hang on. Where is that? There it is. That right
cool.
there. I'm going to bring it over here. Maybe like that. And
a
that.
couple double crosses
like
going
that.
on. It's pretty great.
There we go. Oh. Yeah, I like the pacing. Julie, what you like? I thought the pacing was great. I thought the combat went off really well. It left well enough time for roleplay at the end. We're still going into a bit of overtime, but point being, everything was smooth. Like I said, Zoom is incredible. Can't say enough about it. I wish I was being sponsored. Don't quite have the viewership. What do we got? Like 2 people watching? And I think that's you guys, actually. So, point being, though,
we need to make sure we do log in to get the numbers up, to get like people follow where people are.
If I knew what to do, I will do it. Now
Oh,
that I
just-
know how to do the Twitch thing.
yeah, that's okay, dude. I'll post the link in the Skype. I'm not really worried about it. I don't do it for a following or something. I do it because I'm passionate about the game, right?
Yeah, but any bonus always helps.
Yeah, plus I
No,
was just sitting
hold on,
around
hold on.
last
Now that I
Tuesday,
just
showed me a
reminded.
notification and I watched it.
I promised I would give my my Amsterdam story.
Oh, sure.
So years ago, I got picked up as a fellow at BMW in Munich at the FITS, and so I, took travel, went over there, and was living in Munich, and I was getting ready. And what I did was I lived there. Every weekend, I would go and travel to a different country. And so what I would do is I bought all my plane tickets, all my reservations were done ahead of time. I bought everything before I even left. And so every Thursday, I would start printing out my boarding passes and looking at my directions, everything else. So the weekend's coming up for me heading to Amsterdam. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, all right, I remember my flight, I've got all that stuff going on. But we get to a reservation for my hotel, and I can't remember what the fuck the name of my hotel is. It was a hostel, I booked it, cash, nothing. I'm like, it's like coffee shop something. And any of you that have been to Amsterdam, and I know Sam had said it before, like coffee shop doesn't really narrow it down. I'm like, well, it's downtown coffee shop something or other, downtown whatever. And finally now, I figured out downtown coffee shop in Amsterdam. That's the name of the place. It's great. And I bring up the website, and I'm working in Germany, and so we are in a bullpen style area. Like my boss is literally 6 feet from me.
And it's a brothel.
And I look this thing up, and all of a sudden you hear oonch, 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 and it's going fucking crazy. And it's
I know that song.
Welcome to the downtown coffee shop, Amsterdam's premier international meeting place for gay men. We take the leather kings and the disco queens, and just fucking noise is plowing out of my computer. I'm in a room of 6 literally straight-laced engineering German dudes.
It's
And this is
amazing.
just going ape shit. And I'm just like, oh fuck, what did I get into now? And now they're all crowding around me. We're all having a good laugh at all right, well, you leave tomorrow, so good luck, dude. And I actually, it was funny because, and I don't give a shit one way or the other. But the best part about this is, so I call up my cousin, and my cousin had actually come out to our family 2 years before when he had turned 22. And which was a big thing for us because my uncle, who he came out to, was Vietnam War vet, married his Puerto Rican nurse that he met in the hospital after he got shot. hardcore, everything else, and he came down on Christmas Eve and was like, "Hey, Dad, I like dick." So like our family really doesn't care. We're cool with it. Doesn't matter. So I gave him a call and I was like, "Dude, like, I think I booked the wrong place. Am I gonna be like at a place? It'd be weird for me to be there. Anything else?" And he was like, "No, just sleep against the wall. You'll be fine." So I end up flying into Amsterdam, and I show up, and like my flight got delayed. I'm fucking tired as shit. I roll up, I knock on this door. This guy opens the door, and he's just like, "Dude, you look fucking tired." He's like, "Listen, me and I forgot what the name of his boyfriend was. He's like, "Listen, me and so are hanging out watching movies. Like, drop your shit off." He said, "My friend runs the head shop next door. Just go over there, tell him you know me. He'll give you a good joint, and you just hang out." And it was literally the best visit I ever had to that city. And I've been there 3 times or 4 times now. So if you're ever back there and you look at the downtown coffee shop, there's a little coffee shop right next door where they sell really good espresso, and their joints are fantastic and hand rolled, and it is really a good experience.
Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
Like you can really go and do the touristy, stupid, crazy shit, but you can also just go wander around, see fantastic art, meet phenomenal people, and the French fries and ice cream are to die for. That's my story.
People from the Netherlands are they're above all. They're the sweetest people. They're really nice, friendly. They'll show you around the city. They're fucking great people, for sure.
Especially if you wear a Canadian flag.
Yeah, don't walk around with an American flag on your bag.
No, wear a Canadian flag. Actually, did you know that they send 1 million tulips every year?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Every year.
That's right. That's what it is. Yeah.
Julie, how much XP do we get today?
Very good question. Thank you for reminding me. God, you are diligent. You are just way too diligent. My God.
He's so close to leveling. He can he's probably about.
I get my call.
Take another 25 experience just for incredible diligence, just on everybody and in the perfect manner too. Well done. Where was I though? So for this session, concluding out, taking Laramus's head, selling him off, playing your bounty role as it were, and well done on that. I named the campaign Hunters, played it up, and so it is that you're doing exactly what your job is. You're literally selling flesh. I love it. Thanks. Oh Jesus! Almost said something stupid.
Stupid.
What did I give you guys last session?
170.
Thank you. Yes, 300 experience. You guys can take this session.
So wait a second. So we got experience last week because I missed that.
Yeah, you got 175 last week.
Oh, I would have been level 3.
Oh, you weren't even here for the end of it. Sorry, my apologies. Yes, did I not put it in? Okay, I didn't put it in chat. Very good then.
Okay, so 130. So
That makes me level 3 now.
And now are we taking a rest or?
No, we haven't rested yet.
Okay.
So 135 or 175?
Well, let's establish something in the after credits scene. What are you guys doing here? Since everyone's still here,
Mood, right?
you're heading to Weymouth. So point being is, as it is, you guys make your way away from the scene in a procession of heroism, panning down against the scenery, the trees whipping by as you mount your horses and leave, so much so the corpses behind in the state they might be. Careful to trod through the brush nearby so as not to leave obvious tracks on the road. As you distance yourself from it, the credits roll. You guys arrive in town a little while later. And I'm assuming hit up an inn. As you come in, it's about 5 o'clock-ish. Sorry. Combat encounter and etc. If that was like a half an hour, it'll be, we'll say like 3:30, almost 4.
I don't know if we can go to an inn yet.
Yeah, I think we probably stash our horses somewhere and then start walking towards the bear or should we start walking towards? Do we got? We can see if Roderick is
The
alive.
horses, do you look guilty?
No. That's the horses right by the inn, and then just like, hey, we're leaving our stuff there, and then we can go to the hospital and see if Roderick's alive. That's the first. We can go there first, so it's not as suspicious.
That sounds good.
We'll head to Rod. We'll go see if Roderick's alive.
All right. And where would you be going to check this?
To the hospital.
Very good.
area.
As you head out towards the edge of town and past the guards, they give you a nod as it shows you come upon the doorway. You let yourself in after a polite knock. Entering in upon the dark chamber of the hospital, the windows filtering the light into the chamber. You see a few nurses situated if you see a few nurses milling through the landing area as one is heading upstairs, one heading across to a door across from where you're entering upon. One of them looks over towards you and veers. Sorry?
So is that Millie, the one that we knew before, the chubby one?
As you look between them, Millie, you don't see. This one, you saw before. You're fairly certain she would know Millie.
Who was hitting on Millie before?
That was me.
Well done, gentlemen.
Oh, step up, buddy.
Everybody takes 10 experience for excellent memory on roleplay. Better than me, actually. I'd forgotten about Millie in the moment.
Yeah.
So is Millie
She
in
was
front
kind
of
of
us?
a
Or
big character.
I thought you. So is Millie in front of us, or was it another?
No. But it was somebody that you'd seen around her. Maybe she knows her.
All this. Can you message her?
Who,
I was
Millie or
wondering
that one?
Millie.
The one directly in front of you.
Millie, because she should be 120 feet away from us somewhere.
I could definitely give it a try. So, what do you want me to message? What do you want to talk about?
Just say, hey Millie, we're here to see Roderick. Can you come give us a hand or something like that?
So I message Millie and I attempt to see that if she's within 120 feet.
Sounds good. You hear a woman shriek and the shatter of glass as a tray falls over.
Not bad.
Nearby,
From a distance.
you hear the swearing in it sounds like a rough mix of Elven and Dwarven. You recognize things like Moradin's cock in someone's ear. You kind of loses you after that. It's so fast. But then a second later, you hear a bunch of people say, "Sister, how could you?" But anyhow, a body shadows the doorway a moment later as she wipes her hands over and says, "Somebody call." And she peers in through the door and looks upon Victor for a moment, blushing.
Lily, it's so great to see you again. I was wondering when we meet.
She grows more timid in the door frame and does the kind of cute curtsy thing as she looks up towards you. The camera pans down against the mountain of muscle, against the mousy nun.
We were wondering if you had kept Roderick safe like we asked.
She gives a nod and frantically says, "Oh, I did, I had to." And she rushes in and takes the moment to grab your hand and say, "You wouldn't believe what I had to do." And she grasps onto your chest. I had to do such things I had to do. And she just kind of paws at you for a moment. After a brief, sorry?
I take my hand and put it on hers on top of my chest. Say, "Oh, what did you have to do?"
She stares into your eyes lovingly and she says, "I had to hide him down under the floorboards. I had to secret him away. And they came looking and I told them that there was nothing like that here. But they came in anyway. They came in," and she tears herself away. She's like, "They came in." And then she comes back towards you quick to grab your hand and put it exactly where it was before.
My dear, you're such a brave soul. Where is he now?
"Oh, he's perfectly all right. He's just over here." And she kind of does the dramatic Shakespearean whisk you away as she leads you around the corner up the stairs, and on the second floor there he is, situated in a bed as anybody else, sitting scratching away in a parchment. And as the light filters in through the window, the camera pans down against you guys and fades to black. Because otherwise, Ricky's gonna be a fucking sourpuss and have to cut out early.
I got
That's right. I'm gonna save part 2 of my my Amsterdam adventures for next week.
Perfect.
Your what adventures?
My
Later.
Amsterdam adventures.
Gotta go. Bye.
Cheers.
Have a good one.
Later on.
Awesome session.
Cheers. My pleasure,
Well
guys.
done, Chris.
Always.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Later.
You doing okay?
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
Well done, man. This is great. This is a lot of fun.
It's been, yeah, no, it's gone off without a hitch.
I love the ad-libbing. I think how you pull stuff out is great. And you know what? Like, it's so frustrating sometimes when the dice just betray you, but you just roll with it.
That's the whole thing of it, right? As you just take the situations as they come to you.
I think I've been watching a lot of other streams, and I think, you know, I'm starting to get mature enough that I don't get personally attached, and it's just whatever happens in the story. So it's good. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I used to empathize and want to be the characters, and now it's like, let's just see where the story goes. Oh man, I lost a hand. Whatever, deal with it.
Well, sometimes it just feels like, right, when you're playing the game and you just lose a chunk of something, you know, whatever it be, your treasure or you know, you can take a curse or something in the game. There's so many different conditions that you can just get hit with, and anytime you get the opportunity to pull them out as a dungeon master, you're like, yes, this is a moment that, you know, the group will see a player suffer for this particular ailment or whatnot. But then, you know, you think about it from the other way, is that, like, here's the other side of it, is that player gets to experience that, you know, that sort of thing, that gameplay. Not every game is going to involve this or that or the other thing. And me as a DM, I mean, I'm presenting an incredible story on this campaign. I'm actually surprised with myself on it. Not to glad hand myself or anything. You have to understand and certainly not to jinx it, but I think I'm doing a really good job of presenting a really interesting and intricate sort of heist tale here.
Is it following a plan that you have, or is it just kind of evolving and like playing itself?
Yeah, it's both, kind of, sort of. I mean, I made up the overarching villain today based on existing canon. I picked something. I said I knew that there was going to be an overarching thing because Laramus had to answer to somebody. Because Laramus didn't need 10,000 fucking platinum. He didn't need 100,000 gold. And I happened upon them out of Cormyr, and it matched. So that's how my planning went, and it works out so amazingly well. And then I fit it in. I shoehorn it in the way I did with the history check. So something. I mean, Buddy rolled a nat 20. Sam rolled a nat 20. So Victor can have a chunk of this in his history, and so he can recall upon this and say, what was this? What was that? How did it work?
I noticed that. I thought that was very cool. It's like, write this in your history, and I'm like, well done. Like that's cool. I haven't seen you do that before.
I think maybe you have, as a matter of fact. It's not common, but it has happened.
Oh, you know what? Yes, it did. It happened with the whole tongues thing, right? Lady Shay. That's the only other time I saw it.
For example, yeah, probably actually.
Lady O'Shea, yeah, because the whole.
I loved involving those characters in story. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was great to watch. and it's great to experience and see that kind of happen.
They were all fantastic players. Everybody who came through that group was terrific. A bit distractionary at times, but fantastic all the same.
True. Depends how much weed went around, but.
Oh, not that. No, that was me. Oh no, that was actually Mark, and of course they have.
Yeah, everybody shared. It was
I always forget. You know, I get lost in the presentation so much so that the players. I mean, I hate to say it, it's almost a miasma. Like, whomever the players are, it's their players. You know what I mean? And you're players in the play, so to speak. And people see it as like this insensitive thing, but it's like, well, no, it's an objective thing. Is what it is. It's not insensitive. It's objective. It's that you're a player in a play, and we all have a role, and there's a role-playing game, and that's what we're here to do. Is we're here to play our fucking role. So really, I'm not trying to be a dick about shit. It's just that if you're here to play the game, that's what we're here for. We're going to play the game. So we're all going to take the role. We're going to play it to the best of our ability. And that's the whole trick of it, is just to the best of your ability, right? And people who are judgmental about that can go fuck themselves. And that, I mean, like, I'm not judgmental of anybody bringing anything to the table. It's all about, you know, it's my job first and foremost to fit you into the story, and then it's your job to represent what you want to represent, whatever that might be. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just me. You know, ultimately, it's whatever the players want to bring to the table and how they want to represent themselves and what sort of thing they want from the game too. All this is more or less rudimentary when you have the experience that, and I'm again not glad any, but the experience that I do. You know, like there's guys who are, you know, you got 10 years experience dungeon mastering, or you're repeating 1 year of experience dungeon mastering. You know, and I like to think I'm in the former, for the most part, with how I'm picking up on the delivery and whatnot. And it all started with Curtis going way back when, because I used to run all open-end games, but Curtis, once upon a time, this one player from way back, he said, "What story are you trying to tell, Jules?" And that resonated.
Australian Curtis?
No, Curtis. That was great, right? So many Curtises have come through, and every Curtis has been terrific, absolutely fantastic. Never had a problem with anybody named Curtis in my entire life that I can think of. Unless I started it. But with that said, the truth is that he asked me, what story you're trying to tell? What's the story you're trying to tell, you know? And this is like, it's a pertinent question, you know. It's very simple. What's the goal? What's everybody after, and how do you involve everybody in there? One of my buddies there, my player from Tuesday's game there, Jeff, fortunate to have him along during all this crises, has what the hell was he? Lost my train of thought completely. I got voodooed there. What the hell? Somebody took it all away. I swear to God, I was saying something important. It was going to be amazing.
Talk about what story you're going to tell. And then you were talking about Jeff.
Point being, though, I talked through with some of the stuff about how I was presenting my Iron Guard campaign, and I managed to own it to some degree. Just that extra like 3 degrees to get it a perfect sharp edge, so that it was a good session every time. You know, I find that I've finally reached that point. 30 years. I'm a slow learner, I tell you. 30 years, and I finally feel like I can consistently deliver an experience.
Well, it's a muscle, right? Like,
That's what I'm saying, though. Well, it's a combination of so many things, right? But it's the same as an airline pilot or semi-truck driver or whomever. You're operating a machine after a fashion. What is that? A bunch of people at a table after, you know, you're pulling this lever, pushing that button, getting things going this direction, that. The tactics take almost a back seat to the direction of the story if you're really implicit about, you know, your objectives with. As soon as you have too much, of course, things get muddied, and so it becomes really hard to kind of direct. But myself, I like to play it pretty freeform. I don't define the direction of the story. I'm free to go either way with it, So if a combat should go south for my dudes or it should go positive for my dudes, you know, it's really, I hate to admit, it's almost a canned or mixed response coming out. But I think that in and of itself is my skill, is being able to say, okay, well, here's a thing that I can deliver upon you guys. I have a thing on the shelf that I can pull off, and there you go. You know, what's this over? It's an experience, you know. Either way, I can just present something that you guys have to deal with as a result of your choices, and that's at the beginning and end of it, really, what this is all about, right? Is what can I present to you guys to contend with as players? You're playing through stuff. You want something to challenge you. And so that comes in so many forms with Dungeons and Dragons, that I can present a myriad of situation per person in a moment. And a lot of times the gameplay is well in emergence, so people can pull their own game out of the game I present. So I may not even have to do fuck all. Half the time is you guys talking back and forth about how to contend with the circumstances coming up, and so that eats away at half an hour. And I have to be even careful about that, because in as much as I love everybody going over it, because I tell you right now, the sign of a good story that you're presenting to everybody, good gameplay and whatnot by Dungeons and Dragons standards, is the fact that it occupies the players in planning, pre-thought, forethought towards whatever circumstance they're about to face. And so that in and of itself, man, just demonstrates like I'm doing really good. And that really feels great when you guys are, you know, bantering back and forth, like, how are we going to approach this? What do we want to do? What is the goal here? And it all makes sense. Everything that everybody's saying, it all adds up. It all makes sense. And, you know, like that in and of itself, it doesn't feel like Lost, where the story is Lost. And so it's just such a grand feeling to know that you got that down pat, you know? That's
Well done.
Yeah, sorry, I really went off there.
Hey, you know what? So I've shifted roles at work, and I'm a Scrum Master now. So I'm kind of managing all the roles. And one thing that's really not done properly is celebrating. And,
Celebrating, yeah, fair enough.
You know, and you know, you've reached you've reached that level, and you're accomplishing things, and I think it's if someone else isn't going to celebrate, you know, then find somebody you can trust who you can say, I did a good job, tell me I did a good job.
I think that reassurance is important, but I think a lot of drive has to come from within. You can't not self-motivate. You gotta believe in yourself, and it's so hard sometimes. It just is, especially when you're getting kicked from all around. Sometimes you just lose it, and God, I hate it too, because when you really lose, I don't know, I'm the sort of person that always looks back on stuff, which actually just kind of makes me better at learning from my past. I like to say is the point of it all, you know, when you really think about the past. Like, I don't dwell on anything. I try not to. And you know, that's hard. But anytime that anything comes up in your mind, you know, you gotta learn from it and think about, like, why did this happen? What led to that? And you have to do so objectively, you know, be it to be critical of yourself or to be positive about something and say, no, this was right, this was okay, this was good, you know, I have to adjust this, but, you know, the rest of it was fine. And that's kind of a different way of looking at it, instead of, you know, this was good, but you say this was bad, but, you know, this was bad, but this was good. You know, you leave off on a positive note. I don't know. Maybe that's kind of a bent way of looking at it, but maybe that's a simple way of being psychologically more positive about when you fuck up. As far as the story goes, there's just been a minimal amount of them, and like the guys have been saying, everything's pretty open-ended. So, you know, I like to think that I'm presenting the story in exactly the way that it should be for Dungeons and Dragons. I've been trying to publish my my adventure for the last however long. Jeff actually took a look through it and told me, "Hey, buddy, you're missing an ending." And I was like, "Well, fuck me. How do you like that, eh?" And so I wrote.
Is that the one that you sent me?
Oh, I did send that to you. Yeah, it's still in process. It's been updated 16,000 times over, and it's still gone nowhere. I feel like, oh my god, I can't just. This is good. You know what I mean? I just don't have the experience to be like, this is how it is when it comes to writing adventures. I'm not as good as some people. That guy.
So my thoughts of that are, you ever hear of an artist named Prince?
Yeah.
Right. So
Formerly named us.
yeah. So he would release stuff, but not always be happy with it, and keep tinkering, and that's part of the process, right? So where you're at one point, but at some point you got to pull the trigger and put it out there. And
True.
then, that's the only way you're going to get better. So you can't spend 20 years creating this perfect thing.
It's been 2 years so far with this, believe it or not.
But it's never going to be perfect because the times always change.
Well, it needs an ending. It does need an ending. Curse of Strahd has an ending. I want to be not as good as Curse of Strahd, but at least have as much of the format included. Intro, middle, ending, But no, seriously, you're right. It's never, I can't, fiddle with it forever. I know a guy who fiddled with his game for 5 years, his board game. No, it's been 7 years. I don't think he's released it yet. Honestly, 7 years of the board game. I've got a card game that I've had for 2 years that I haven't released, actually. I released my other one. It hasn't sold or anything, but I released it, and it's really good. Whatever.
Right now.
What?
You gotta write an app, have the card game on your phone or whatever.
Oh, it's too late for that shit for me. I'm an old dog. I wrote my apps back in the day, and nobody gave a shit. Neither do I anymore. So it is what it is. I'm happy with what I'm doing right now. Guy I work with is awesome, and the work is actually intriguing and interesting, so it's like, I'm satisfied. I'm happy. Things could be, better on other fronts, but work-wise, man, I daren't complain. No, I'm lucky. Actually, charmed life even.
Yep.
Honestly, I'm thankful for everything that's happened to me. Good and bad. Yeah, good and bad, man. It all led to where I'm at, but whether you like it or not, you're where you're at. So you may as well like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love my job. I love the people I work with. Every day I go in, I'm blessed. People are like, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "Sensational." People are like, "What?" And I'm like, "Sensational." And they're like, "Why would you say that? That's such a strong word." I'm like, but I work with extremely high performers. We have an incredible level of trust, and I get pulled into meetings, and people look at me and they make multi-million-dollar decisions based on my feedback, and I'm like, what? Why would you make this decision? They're like,
can we not approach this with multi-million? Can we approach this with multi-hundred?
Yeah, exactly, right? And they're like, well, you're employed here, you're a professional, right? Then why wouldn't I trust you? It's incredible to have that level of
pressure.
Under
pressure
in an organization, right? You get hauled in front of the VP, and they're like, "What happened?"
Answer for X. Yeah, no shit. Oh my god. I don't know. I dig on it personally because I'm like a know-it-all, but I put down my evil ways a long time ago, so I don't really talk unless asked to. But and then I try to keep it chipper and concise. Oh my god, such a challenge. Because I have a tendency to get into the weeds on everything. It does not fucking matter what the subject is. If I get to talk tech, I'm like, so we're going to need to set up this script. It's going to run on an extension, but we're going to have to download it on PC. We're going to have to get the Git set up. We're going to do it. And people are like, Deuce, can we do it? Good stuff, buddy. You know what I mean? This is how you can get it done. And I'm like, let me tell you how we're going to get it done. Mario Boy, it's going to be good shit. And nobody gives a fuck, right? You know what I'm saying? Anyway. I love how this story has gone so far. I think it's a lot of fun. I see a couple plot holes and hiccups in the story, but I think everybody's really liked how fun the story is, so to speak. You guys are, like I said, hunters and doing so and selling flesh, and it's fucking getting paid, and it just feels good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, having Sam like throw us into some curveball.
Yeah, that was you know what? I mean, I'm not against it at all. It's just you guys were talking about such plans, and I'm like, I wonder how this is gonna go. And I threw the goblin out, and you guys met up with him, and then Sammy went the way he did, and so it ended up the way it did. But you guys, in the interim, had so many different plans. Like, it took us so long to get up to the combat because everyone was like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do the other thing, we're gonna do that. And then the goblin came out of the woods. And Sammy said, Leroy Jenkins. Right? So that was fantastic. I thought it was terrific stuff. I mean, personally, I just work here. I'm of the opinion, but being the case that it was, I have no complaints. I thought the game went really, really, really well. Just for the fact that there was the combat right in the middle, I think it was a little bit of precedent. Everybody had whatever plans, and of course, it just went the way it did. There's so many times that I've watched players do that. You have such plans, but does anything happen on the way? And that's an excellent question. And so there's no way of knowing, but you want to have a plan in the interim. And so the players banter back and forth for however long, figuring out their plans, and then finally they travel. And X or Y happens, or X and Y happen, and so forth. And so they end up in the position that they have to, improvise once again. And I think that really plays to the challenge of the game and what people enjoy about it, and I think that's important. And this campaign especially, I've really loved ad-libbing through this stuff because it's so. I don't know. I don't find it a special difficulty to ad lib a person's greed necessarily, but greed is an easy thing to portray. Instead, in this campaign, we have a mix of greed and force. I guess I'll call it. Although that's not the
political intrigue.
Well, the intrigue comes as a result of. Like strong arm, but that's not even the term I want to use. These guys are being forced into the position they're at. That's the point of it. They don't have a choice. Make you an offer you can't refuse. That sort of thing. And so this guy, the foot, I think it was, came through. Was that what I said?
The hand, the eye, the foot.
Buddy worked for the hand, and this was conducted by the foot, is what Buddy said. Laramis said before you guys took his head off his shoulders.
I always kind of wonder where things go because I don't really understand the psychology behind torture, and I don't know if it works or not. You know what I mean? Like when we were kids, it was like, oh.
It depends on the individual. It depends on if they feel like they have a chance. Like if I give in, that they'll let me survive.
Yeah.
That's really what it boils off to. If I give you what you want, will you let me live? And if you're promising me that, and I choose to trust you, then I'm that sort of person who gave in to torture. So it goes. The person who doesn't is the person who's stated that their honesty or their personal honor, as it were, is more important than A. And then you have the other side that should have lost my train of thought again. How many drinks am I in? Quite a few, really. Like, let's be honest. I'm like however many ounces of booze in.
Hey, it's okay. It's good.
And it is what it is.
We were talking about torture, whether it works or not, and it, the belief.
I mean, it works depending on the individual, like I say. That's, I guess, where I'm starting and ending with that one.
Yeah. You know what's really good that I also I forgot to highlight is we don't run a lot of bunny trail. We don't get distracted and talk unless there's a natural break and like you go off somewhere else.
That's fair.
And then we'll like, if we're there's no more plans and plots for the game, we'll talk about other things. But I find that being separated and doing a conference call kind of thing, there's not as many side bunny trail conversations happening.
Yeah, fair enough. It's funny because in the Tuesday game, it was a problem at first. It quickly subsided, as a matter of fact, as Tuesday's session got replaced with more online players. And it was just more online players with less of an expectation of the table mannerisms. And as time's gone on and people have become more accustomed to the online thing, their mannerisms have adjusted as well. And so I found that, yeah, people have become more respective of whoever is supposed to be talking during a Zoom meeting, so to speak. The rest of them mute their mics, as etiquette would deign. The individuals are doing as they should, and of course, muting their mics when not talking, as simple as an office might demand, because that's exactly what it's supposed to be. Wow, I really babbled through that one. But the point being, right?
All right, it's 2:00. I gotta say thank you again. Really appreciate things. And good night.
My pleasure. We'll catch you later, Rick.
All right.
Cheers.
Everyone.